Right. Hello. Welcome everyone. Hopefully all of my I should have mentioned this to Twitch when I went live for a few minutes and yapped, but hopefully all of my YouTube viewers have watched the level 100 video already. I did post the I let my viewers decide who to level 100. Why does this have a special icon? I feel like I asked that question in the past and I don't remember what the answer was. It's just a lady with lore, I guess. Yeah, I think I've interacted with her before. Okay. You haven't yet? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you not watch yet? Joking. Anyways, Nefer has weed girlfriends, and that is awesome. What? What is that? What does that mean? I voted Kave 3 times. Sad to see Lanyan win. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I actually like accidentally skewed for it just by liking Lanyan and giving like I am just like in the alternate reality of I only let people vote for one character, who would have won, right? Would it still have been Lanyan? Based on what the first question was, like presumably yes, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe people would have more biased towards like I don't know. And I could have done ranked choice. I could have encouraged people to choose not based on what characters I like, but choose what they think would be fun. But ultimately, if they watch me, they probably think it would be fun to see me have level 100 Lanyan, right? So, anyways, I'm happy about it. It's just, I can't help but feel it's the statistics problem. It's the, when you're doing anything with statistics, with like gathering data from people, you realize after the fact, like, the subtle ways in which you gather data and things. This is a really big problem in just data collection in general. Especially when you try to merge different data sets together without properly understanding how the data was collected. You get like maps like people make of the United States, for example, where like different states will collect data in different ways, but then people will combine the data from different states that collected data in different ways, and it creates a map that looks really stupid and is like split by state borders when it doesn't make sense to split by state borders. That mostly held in my head because I saw a Hank Green video about it recently, but it was topical to bring up in the context of me doing the level 100 thing as a very small microcosm example of how the nature of how you data collect and how you choose to like let large numbers of people decide things. I chose to keep it simple, just whoever got the most votes, because it's like, let's not overcomplicate Genshin Impact silly video idea, right? But I don't know. I can't help but think I accidentally biased Lanyan winning without intending to. So. But yeah. Anyways. Vernos, Chi-Chi is the only meta relevant character level 100. Yeah, I mean, if like if I had put the likes of Chi-Chi in there, people would have just voted for Chi-Chi. But I wanted to make sure I could get something fun out of it. There was a number of units I considered, to be clear, that also I think could have been fun, but weren't on the list simply because I didn't want there to be too many choices. But anyways. Sorry, finishing my tea. I actually just, oh, you know what's funny? I ordered some loose leaf tea and then realized the only way I have to heat up water, I haven't bought a microwave yet because I've been like, I don't really need a microwave. And then I bought loose leaf tea that kind of necessitates being able to warm up water. So my only choice to heat up tea right now is if I heat it up on the stove, which is a little annoying, but that's how a lot of people boil water. I'm sure there's a lot of people that say it's better to boil water that way anyways. But yeah, do you not own a kettle? I'm going to go get a kettle this week. Get an electric kettle. I guess that's true. I didn't consider an electric kettle. And by get a kettle, I mean like a not electric kettle. Air fryer. Either way, I don't have any of the normal implements for heating up tea. I didn't really think properly about the fact that I needed the ability to heat up water properly when I bought the tea. Oh well. Oopsies. But yes, I'm going to get a kettle. My grandma asked me when I moved in, do you need a kettle? I'm like, yeah, I could probably use a kettle. That's where I'm going to get the kettle from. But it's like a not electric kettle. Anyways. Level 100 Flynn's one day. I'm probably gonna level 100 Arlecchino. Not that, like... So level 100 Flynn's is... I think the increase should be, like, not minor. I just don't think it will matter. And Arlecchino is flexible, unlike Flynn's. And I like Arlecchino's gameplay a little bit more, personally. And I like her as a character a little bit more. And, yep. So, and I feel like I'm gonna make a video. I keep on, like, feeling like I want to make a video on forums only about Arlecchino. And my essentially perfect build. And yapping about the experience of that, and then doing whatever. So my intention is to get a copy of Jean from... What is it? Yeah, this. Copy of Jean from this. And that'll let me level 100 Arlecchino on forums only. Which shade of green? I like green. I like a lot of colors, but this shade of green in particular is a pretty great color. Like, it's a strong reason I like Nefer's design so much. I mean, I don't know who the designer is. I'm willing to bet that the designer of this character is the same person that designed Candace and Dia. Like, I get the same vibe. In case anyone's not aware, I'm pretty sure Dia and Candace were made by the same designer. But the colors are great. But ultimately, any color doesn't really. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. You want here? Actually, I have funny proof of this. The oldie psychological effect of how we perceive colors in funny ways. So, let's see. Actually, this is not even that great. Yeah, this is not that tricky. Never mind. Well, actually, no, I think it's fine. Here, I gotta adjust my layers. Why am I starting with this? I meant to start... We're meant to be doing Nefer planning right now, guys. You successfully distracted me by asking me about green. Good job. Right. So, this is from the thumbnail. Because I wanted to copy the 100 out of 100 thing, right? For the thumbnail, for the video I just released. And... So, zooming in is too. So the question is, right? For the 100 here, the color here, is the color in this 100 the same or not? Right? What is the collab with Tars? I'm probably going to record it with him today. Maybe depending on, I don't know when. It was gonna be yesterday. And I wasn't confident I was going to stream it, but I thought I was going to at least record it. But various factors didn't happen yesterday. Anyways. Whoever designed Varka should be hung? What's wrong with you? Are you okay, Aqua? Isn't it the same? Well, is it the same? That's the question. But then, other question. So, for the 100 and 100 here, is this color the same? And then is this color the same for the other 100? The gray 100? Right? So first, is this the same? We don't need to do a poll. But first, are these two 100s the same? Yes or no? And then I will ask if these two 100s are the same color as well. I see no one actually caring about this in chat. Or everyone has a delay because of wherever they are in the world. Different people, different delays. Anyways. Collab with Tars soon. It is the same. You are correct. It is the same. But the colors around can influence it. When I actually thought they were going to be different colors when I copied it originally.
What you see is what you get.
The transparency might be what makes the other ones different. I'm not sure, but these ones are actually different colors though. So, yeah. And it's probably the transparency effect. But anyways, the point I was bringing up with this, though, is simply that the human brain perceives colors and just perceives things in general completely differently relative to other things. Colors only exist relative to other colors. They're completely a perceived phenomenon in the first place. And therefore, we need to take account the normal human perception behaviors that happen. or don't happen for some people. But colors look different depending on what other colors are nearby, is my point. So what does it matter that I even like dark green specifically? Well, I need to switch this back to the whatever. It doesn't, but I still like green. I don't know. That's the point. The point of I like green was simply that I like Nefer's design, and the color scheme balance is a large part of that. So yeah. Siegewein and Joy that uses Dia, Emily, Farina, Siegewein. Wow, nice. I feel like I played that team before. If I recall, it did work pretty okay. I think it's still a good idea to get C2 Farina. Oh boy. Do I have to make another C2 Farina video? Also, let me double check. I might have enough of these materials. So Nefer, just in case you didn't see, uses the same drops Lama does, little orbs that are here. Actually, why I started over here. Do I have to make another video about C2 Farina? I don't want to make another video about C2 Farina. Funnily enough, I think the fact that Stygian exists now means C2 Farina can be more worthwhile. But then simultaneously, the fact that they're going in a direction of being very anti-damage bonus with newer character releases means C2 Farina's C1 and C2 Farina. C1 Farina is still better than C2 Farina. Is worse. Like, it makes it worse, but then Stygian existing at all makes it better. And Farina is still useful for Stygian, but then we had the one Stygian where like Farina wasn't particularly necessary because you didn't need that much Hydro. Like the other two bosses didn't want Hydro or whatever. And then we have the current Stygian that wants two bosses with Hydro, so Farina could be very useful, let alone the other boss, which is potentially really compelling to have Farina because she can buff multiple different things. Anyways. So like, I don't know. If you're already at Season or Farina, should you consider Farina cons for insert highly specific team context? I have no idea. It really, really, really depends on what Columbina is going to be, because it's very, very possible Columbina just is better with Dia, Emily, Siegewein, right? But I don't know. I don't know what Columbina's kit does exactly. It's probably not damage bonus, but it easily could be other stats that buff the team in some way, that it ends up resulting in more damage, and she might do more personal damage on top of that kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyways, it's so like the answer is it is not worth it, and but I have, if there's any times I could say yes, I needed C2 or C1 Farina to be able to clear a piece of content, it has been with Stygian Onslaught at dire difficulty for me. And for you, that might be Stygian Onslaught at fearless difficulty. It just depends where your account is at as a whole. Like, it's possible that could be the difference maker. And it's like, if you go ask someone like Zajef, he's never going to tell you that it makes sense to do, because he's always operating on a what is the most damage increase perspective. And he's like, okay, you want to increase your Nuvilet team's damage? Well, you should get Nuvilet C1 R1 before you consider any Farina constellations kind of thing. Because yeah, that is more of a team DPS upgrade than getting Farina C2 or C1, I believe. But the difference with Farina C1, and this is how they balance all support constellations, is that it buffs multiple characters, not just one character. So Farina C1, and being that, like, you know, Stygian Onslaught is Abyss, all the endgame combat is is content that requires you to have team options that can you know, you need to have teams that fulfill whatever mechanics, right? Whatever elements that you're supposed to have, and then whatever racism mechanic that they're shilling at this point now. And literally in a few days, the next Abyss is going to want one side, if you don't have 2 non-cry units, is going to really punish you for not having 2 non-cry units, right? You either need to have a really strong team, which a lot of people might have. If you have like any of the newer 100k DPS teams, you can brute force it. You'll be able to brute force the one side, I believe, with Skirk. I think I'd have to double check what the other enemies are, but so anyways, the point is that like C1 Farina, for example, and C2 maybe, was what enabled me, for example, to clear the Dire Cactus with Nefer, Farina, Chevreuse C6, and C3 Dia. I did that my dire clear on the cactus last staging onslaught, right? I don't necessarily think it was impossible per se, because I don't think my clear was perfectly optimal. I don't think it was impossible to clear without C1, C2 Frina, but it would have been a lot harder, right? A lot harder, to a degree that like what took me 8 hours might have taken me 20 hours. Like a time increase that is probably not worth it, and it might have been impossible because ultimately the amount of damage I could deal was finite. So I don't know. I really don't know. But so it's weird, and it depends on the kind of teams you want to play. And in the case of like, yeah, if you want to make Dia do as much damage as possible, well, getting Dia copies is, you know, more relevant like for Dia. But if you already have C6 Dia, then obviously, right, there's that factor too. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a way of answering other than, you know, acknowledging that support constellations, and especially Frina with how many different teams she can slot in, buffs many characters, and she may buff many characters to a degree that gives you way more flexibility to be able to adapt to content and be able to clear. Like having these conjunction of support constellations both on 5 stars and notably like 4 stars, right? Like having things like this. I didn't spend any money for C6 Shivers. I got it over 2 different banners, my main account, just in case anyone isn't aware. First Shivers banner, I got C4 Shivers, and then the second Shivers banner, I got C6 Shivers, right? And she is why I have C1 Raiden. She is also, well, okay, technically I got C6 Shivers before I got to Pity on Kanish banner, because I got fairly lucky with that. Well, I think it was normal lucky, but I chose to go to Pity because I was fine with that. And that's why I got Kinich. But anyways, like the conjunction of these different supportive constellations matter. Like that's what bugs me when someone like Zajeff would say, you know, don't ever consider getting C1 Frina because get C1 Nivula instead or whatever, or insert whatever other, get Skirk C1, get a Scovier R1. Actually, is a Scovier R1 better than Frina C1? I actually don't know. That's question mark. But like he will simultaneously acknowledge the value of something like this, or Bennett constellations, or Eon-Son constellations, or Auroron constellations. Insert whatever 4-star supported constellation here. Like he'll acknowledge the value of those support constellations, and then a 5-star has a support constellation. He's like, no garbage, right? Like. But he's technically correct. I didn't say he was wrong. I just don't think I think having the narrow perspective of only looking at like one specific team archetype without acknowledging the fact that something like a Farina C1 buffs many potential teams and gives you much more flexibility in clearing the game's content is something you need to acknowledge. And I value support constellations more than DPS constellations. And as someone who has gotten both, I tend to value the support cons more. To be clear, I would say like this one is one that like is, in hindsight, I thought I was gonna have a lot of fun with this one. This one's kind of boring. It's not bad, mind you. Like it's good. It just it's like more often than not, I'd say support constellations are this support constellation is probably my favorite constellation in the game for a 5-star con. I can tell you like C1's Skirk. It was a fine damage upgrade. It's fine. I noticed R1 a lot more than C1. I'll tell you that. They're not like fundamentally different, or just damage increases, but Nefer's different color Skirk changed my mind. I don't disagree. Yes, I'm pulling Nefer's FC. So I don't know, right? This I did not try to pull for. Unironically, though, this is a valuable. I think most people that got this would find value in it, but you shouldn't go for it specifically. It's a little silly. I will say that getting this for free, I literally don't know if I ever have a reason to touch Baiju again. You want to know what Baiju is doing right now? Baiju's doing something really, really important for me. He is holding Nefer's artifacts. I'm sorry. Getting this. What reason do I have to touch Baiju? Like, for real. I have C2 Verna. What possible reason do I have to touch Baiju? It kind of hurts because I pulled Baiju on his first banner because I liked the Snake Man. But like I thought they like were way too conservative on how Baiju's power level when he released, but then it's like, oh, Frida came out and it made sense a little bit. But then now the games continue to go into a point where like Baiju having an awful, miserable long burst animation and it's being restricted to 20-second cooldowns completely kills him. Right? Like he could, like, for example, so he has, oh, Lunar Bloom damage is increased by percentage of his HP. It is a damage downgrade to put Baiju in your Nefer team. Even though you might need defensive utility, even though you could put him on Deepwood, even though you could put whatever, right? It is a damage downgrade to put him in a Nefer team. Because 20-second cooldown is bad. Is real bad. And then force burst animation is also real bad. That's not great. I like, so anyways, and unfortunately me getting the random free C1 Lauma, what a stupid pull, double early 50-50 win pull, means what reason do I have for using this boy? I don't know. So if his C2 was his C1, I'd be very down. I'd get a duplicate copy of Baiju from the Constellation Selector thing, and then I could have Baiju as a weird unit that applies Dendro off-field without having to do anything. Like, that'd be fun. But I can only get one copy of him, so useless. Anyways, C2 Nahida I think is very good as a support constellation. This is another constellation that, like, pulls its weight. And the only sad thing now is, like, I almost kind of feel like you need Nahida C2 if you have Llama for Nahida to be really relevant outside of, like, things like Nilu Llama together. Or sorry, Nilu Llama Nahida together. Sorry. Take a drink. I'll fetch my tea and need water now. Okay. A C2 Vixen with Never? Actually, that's a good question. No. Because it doesn't trigger a shield, I don't think. Wait, right. Characters who are healed by seamless shields, which seamless shields are only given by his burst. Yeah. This doesn't give seamless shields. And this is just skill. Skill charge. Yeah, no. It gives you healing off-field and Dendro application off-field every 5 seconds. Without having to ever switch to him, which is funny. But it does not activate his passive. You have to burst to activate his passive. Yep. Whose free con are you getting? Actually, I do need to decide that soon. So, since this is a Nefer, so Nefer's really interesting. So Nefer's interesting to me, because she has like freeform rotations, and will like doing as fast as rotations as possible, including sub 18-second rotations, which is kind of interesting because you would think that with 2 skill usages and each skill being 9 seconds, you would do 18-second rotations, right? But no, in fact, there's probably going to be very significant value, and the current assumption is you can get meaningfully more DPS if you do shorter rotations, and then it's more a dynamic situation. It's not even a rotation, it's just a dynamic situation where you try to switch back to her anytime you have a skill available, right? And so it really pushes you towards characters that potentially fit in 15-second cooldowns or less. Monoto is jiggle physics. I mean, everything in Zenless is jiggle physics. The game is just jiggly. So anyways, my Llama team, right, or my Nefer team.
When darkness falls, the faithful shall not stray from the righteous path.
You're so yappy. The best option is, I'm gonna have flexibility for the Hydra slot. Now one option is Farina, where you just witness her magnificence and then don't burst on her. Fried cheese, and they didn't. Automod did not like the word testicles apparently for Automod in Twitch chat. Is Yehoda on Nefer's banner? Does she come later? She is not releasing next patch. They would have showed her in the stream if they were. Unfortunately, it is unknown. I think that there is rumors she's coming out in 6.2, but that's, I think, a total crapshoot. I could also see her coming out in 6.3 as a discount, or like a Columbina teammate if Columbina has some kit restriction that necessitates certain kinds of teammates. Let's say a shielder. Then maybe they release Yehoda as an Animo shielder that can swirl Dendro. Anyways, what is it? Why am I looking at you? Oh yeah, so Freyna, not on Tenacity, but just Freyna for being Hydro. And you can just skill, and she has, you know, 30-second uptime on her skills attacking. So you don't even have to switch to Freyna very often. Don't have to burst on Freyna. Just Freyna on whatever supportive artifact set that buffs EM, most likely. So Serenade, or you could put her on Deepwood. And yeah. Now, one weird thing, Key of Kashna suit is more awkward on Freyna if you're not bursting on her. The reason for this is because her summons take a little bit of a time to hit the enemies. So if you're doing bursting on Freyna, you do skill burst. That's enough time to get max stacks on Key of Kashna suit with Freyna. If you're not bursting her, you just press skill and then switch off. You're usually only getting one stack. So that's kind of weird, and Key of Kashna suit might not be that good on Freyna because of that. But I don't know. It's going to be weird, and it depends on the number of enemies around too. Because I think AoE, if I recall, lets you stack them quicker, generally speaking. How much ER for Key Farina? With Never, 0. In a team where you actually want to burst on Farina, depends on the team. Farina has no such thing as a universal build. Anyways, I know over Farina. I mean, yes, the reason I will consider Farina over Ino is because I oftentimes will like using Ino for another team. I oftentimes might like using Farina for another team. My point with the Hydra is that I will interchangeably probably swap between Farina or Ino. Singcho will be an interesting option, because he's also a Hydra sword. He can use Sapwood. Maybe Key question mark, but Sapwood seems like it's probably going to be better than Key, because you can actually consistently trigger it for sure, whereas maxing this is a little sus on whatever character. But yeah, and then yeah, so it's Llama, Hydra unit, and then you got your last slot, and there's not really an ideal last slot. So for me, when it comes to like the constellation selector thing, I have a C1 Nilu. I got C0 Nilu on original banner.
You're calling for me?
I ended up getting a C1 Nilu, if I recall, with Kave banner quite some time ago. So I can get C2 Nilu from the dupe selector thing. And if you have a full Hydro Dendro team, so let's say I'm running triple Dendro plus Nilu, or I'm running double Hydro, double Dendro, that's a possibility too, right? I could do, you know, this, or I know, right, probably, with Nefer, and then, yeah, have Red Shred. Surely that's worth using Nilu, right? Because, so Nefer, by the way, just in case you're not aware, if you have 2 knockers in the team, when you're using her skill, she turns off the Bloom reaction. When she's not in her skill state, though, the Bloom reaction actually still will be on. So Nilu's passive will sometimes be doing something, which is kind of interesting. But anyways, the main limitation for Nilu is 18-second cooldown. But also, there's actually a bigger problem, maybe arguably even than the 18-second cooldown for Nilu and Nefer, which is, again, you really want to not have to spend a lot of time on characters for Nefer, it seems like. And Nilu takes that long to activate her skill, which is a long time. And that's pretty bad. The only upside is at least she guarantees triggering Key of Kashna suit if you have it. So, like, I think if you have C2 Nilu with Key, it might be worth the downside of the extended time it takes, right? Also, can you activate her thing by doing that? What is the indicator? Right, I need to put what the indicator looks like, because you can technically activate her thing.
Anything you need to
Right. So third step dance. I thought you could activate it by doing the normal attack mode. And or is it like if you do the normal attack mode, you have to do the third normal attack, so it's the same time either way? I think it's the same time either way. That's my assumption. I'm just curious if you could save time by sacrificing the off-field Hydro, because if you have another Hydro unit in the team, you don't need the off-field Hydro technically, right? That's my thinking. Like, if you have Ino in the team, you don't need to do this mode. So is it faster to do the normal attack mode? Her bountiful chalice, it's the blue sparkles. Okay. I see. Little blue sparkles around Kirara, not the water. So if we... Okay, yeah, oh wait, yeah, it shows the little stacks on top. So yeah, you have to do 3. That is a little bit faster though, isn't it? Let's try to count how long it takes. What is Nefer's best team? It seems like it's probably Ino, C6, Lauma, Kuki. And then you put Ino on, what's it called? Where are you? There you are. You put Ino on this weapon. So Forest Regalia gives so R1 be half of this, but 120 EM leaf. Or you could do Sapwood Blade on Kuki. You'd only do one of those. There's no reason to do Sapwood Blade and this weapon. So if you have Sapwood Blade on Kuki, you put Ino on whatever. Ino will more reliably trigger the leaf effect though. Official's technically better. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Official's damage is technically better. My bad. I think Nefer is technically best. Is also the case because even with like sus uptime on whatever. So anyways, the last slot is weird and like it's minor enough difference that it's kind of a question of how much defense. Really, you got to answer how much defensive utility you want. And Nefer is compelling because of defensive utility and buffing. Official is compelling if you technically want the best damage, but then you have way lower defensive utility, unless you are a weirdo that got C1 Llama, or just the game pooped C1 Llama on you for free, but I don't know anything about that. And then you could, so like I would consider using Official and have no problem, obviously. Well, honestly, even if I didn't have C1 Llama, I'd still consider doing it, because I like playing sustainless teams sometimes. It depends what enemy I'm fighting and the mood I'm in. Key on Kuki works in that team? Yeah, so... Wait, we're gonna test the thing. It's funny. I wonder if Kirara is actually a good last slot, because... So Key on Kuki works, but again, this you get stacks of this. You don't get the team-wide EM buff until you get 3 stacks of it, right? Kirara is one of the units in the game that can very quickly get, quickly, consistently in single target, always get it. It's literally just you do E, and then you run in a cat box form. So you do hold E, right? Hold E activation does damage, then the box form does damage, and then you do this. So that's quite quick, right? I hope they don't add level 100 weapons. Right, that's quite quick. The what now farm? Cat box. Have you never seen Kirara? And Kirara's defensive utility. Interesting. I hadn't even considered that actually properly. Do you do anything else in your kit that's relevant? I don't think you do. Not for Nefer. Damage bonus doesn't do anything. That's just off-field Dendro. What's your skill cooldown? 8 to 12 seconds, so it's fine. And you can burst even for a little bit of damage. For fun. Although you probably don't normally burst, to be clear. So she's irrelevant unless you have key or you need defensive utility, to be clear. Interesting. Well, that'll be a strong consideration for me. I'll definitely mess with it. Because I do like cat. I do like the cat. I do not mind having more excuses to play her, even if I have C1 Llama and can play a Nefer. I think I'm almost always going to prefer playing a Nefer with another team. I'm using a Nefer too often for like playing Dia, for example. That I don't think I'm going to usually want to play her with Nefer. But ultimately it'll depend. Because Nefer is going to be like Skirk, where she's either going to be just a unit that I use to trivially clear one side of Abyss, or a unit I use for Stygian Onslaught, and Stygian Onslaught is just a question mark. It depends on the other bosses and what I need for the other teams. So, yeah. I don't know. Key of Cautious Suit is a weird one to think about. And I don't like how much EM, how much HP. Okay, I'm just gonna go yoink my Needle pieces quick. Oh yeah, sorry. Before we, so E. That's definitely faster than E. Okay, interesting. So, like, it's quite a lot faster. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That takes forever. It was a big damage loss for Nefer not running instructors on the team? Yeah. I didn't count, god damn it. It's not that much faster. I think it's like half a second faster. Fastest Needle setup was E-N-A-N-A-E. Holy, you just pulled that out from the archives, didn't you? I actually remember that being the case sometime in the past. You're correct, isn't it? Ah, but you can't swap out very fast, though. I feel like that's the fastest setup to get the ring out. Which is definitely the case. But what if you don't care about the ring? Because you can do double hydro, right? One Mississippi. Yeah, you can swap way faster. I think it's actually like twice the speed. Interesting. So I don't know. And that would trigger key as well. But again, like 18-second cooldown is a weird question mark. So I don't know. And the fact that her passive will be up like during setup rotations and until you press like Nefer's skill, and I don't know. I think Nilu's going to be a weird but interesting option, but realistically probably only relevant if you at minimum have key. And it's not the end of the world to restrict Nefer to 18-second rotations, right? The bigger deal was how long her skill takes. But if you can get it down to about 1 second, but just by playing double hydro, right? And then you just don't give a shit about her off-field hydro, because you don't need it. Unless she's the only hydro, you don't need the rings hydro. But yeah, E2, let's try to count the E-N-A-N-A-E. Nefer DPS set, Llama support set. Yeah, so you want someone on Deepwood, you want someone on the new Nodcry support set, and then you want someone on instructors, generally speaking. And I think Ino is almost always going to be best on instructors. So, well, I don't know. So instructors has 8-second uptime, right? Which means like it's not going to have full uptime on all of Nefer's damage output, but Nefer can be swapped out between skill usages. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not it makes sense to spend the time to refresh the instructor buff or not. I think it will, generally speaking, because I know it's one of the things that I think will actually make Ino meaningfully better potentially than some other Hydra options is the fact that Ino has a 10-second skill cooldown. You can swap back to her and just do E again on her. Not to mention Sack Sword is something you can do on her, but you could, I mean, you could do that on other Hydras, I guess. I think about it, but anyways. So yeah, the fact that Nefer like has no super extremely obvious last slot is weirdly enough, I think, what makes her teams kind of interesting to think about. Like, it's more interesting than someone like Skirk, where Skirk was just, really minor differences between who buffed in what way and how annoying the setups were, and how much burst animation do you want. But then ultimately, like, whether or not certain characters were better for Skirk in the last slot came down to the enemy mechanics more than anything, was my general experience. Whereas Nefer, I think, is a little bit different and a little bit more enjoyable from like a gameplay optimization standpoint, with trying to save rotation time for field time for Nefer. And I really hope I can, and I think there's other people that we'll see if we can try to figure out stuff with sack frags on Nefer to see if we can do 9 charge attack rotations, but it really depends on how, what exactly can be done for her charge attack cancels, the animation cancels, so, yeah. Sucrose, I mean, Sucrose isn't technically the worst option because she gives EM, but she doesn't do anything else. There's no weapon, right? There's no catalyst that buffs Nefer. Right, damage bonus doesn't do anything. Attack doesn't do, well, okay, attack does technically something. But something extremely, extremely minor. It's so minor that it's irrelevant. She doesn't need energy. I mean, maybe your Llama needs energy, I guess, but it's not even necessarily needed to burst every rotation on Llama. Like, so, right? Proto Amber is an option, I guess. Yeah, if you want Sucrose to be your healer. But you can also just do that on Llama, I feel like, if you need Proto Amber. I don't think it'll be that big a deal. Well, I mean, you don't want to do that on Llama, to be clear. You'd rather have defensive utility on someone else because Llama's burst buffs based on, will buff some of Nefer's damage based on her EM, right? I gotta think about that. Do I care about that right now? I probably don't care about that right now. I don't think it'll be fine. I will care about leveling Llama's burst more if it's a flat buff, right? So for Nefer's damage, but question mark, maybe in the future. Okay, so let's go. The event things for the artifacts is done today. We'll see what I end up with my build. I got a feather yesterday. I did get a feather yesterday. How about do you think Yaoya will be with her? Doesn't Yaoya have an EM buffing con? I forgot I only have C3 like Yaoya. Oh no, that's her EM. Okay. And this is just extra Dendro. Stamina could have been good for Nefer, but she actually doesn't use stamina when you do her charge attacks, and damage bonus doesn't do anything for her, so... Cope defensive option. Why are you using that instead of Kuki is the question, basically. Yep. Sack frags with Dahlia. Why? I mean, you can if you need I don't know. I think there's enough compelling options for last slot defensive utility. But Kuki is like the most obvious choice for most people. And you can either put Sapwood Blade on her or just whatever. The reason not to use Sapwood Blade on her is if you have Ino on Forest Regalia, the leaf EM buffing thing. I want to be clear, like, if, by the way, like, this level of min-maxing will really not be necessary. Like, if you already have Llama, I strongly feel this level of min-maxing will not be necessary. Unless you're in Stygian Onslaught, and probably only in dire difficulty. At least for the patch that Nefer is out. Maybe it'll be more necessary in the future when they creep up HP, or you're trying to use Nefer against a boss she's less ideal against, or whatever. So, Kokomi with Nahida. Kokomi is okay, yeah. I think you need to use Sack Frags on her, though, to get her skill cooldown to fit in. Yeah, because she has a 20-second cooldown. So it could end up being a little bit awkward, particularly if you don't have refines on Sack Frags. Yeah, this is just to get her skill cooldown to fit in properly. Columbine will probably replace Ino. Maybe. The thing that I think some people might be not realizing is Columbina plus Ino might become Nefer's best team. like remember, Nefer is lacking in like having no obvious best last slot. And I think that's kind of a fun thing about her team building right now, at least. It's the one fun thing about her team building. So, yeah. Anyways, Nahida is kind of bad because of bursts. First animation taking 5 years. Nahida is still a net gain, to be clear, and isn't a bad option. Like Nahida on Deepwood or Serenade set with Proto Amber is definitely one of the potentially compelling options, right? So yeah. So Jeff would hate that? I don't think he would. I think so Jeff understands. So yeah. Anyways, I am not going to use this. Well, wait. I mean, there's no reason I can't use this team, I guess. Why not? It'll work. It's a domain. Wait, it's going to be a pain in the ass because we don't have two not. I don't know. How tanky is this going to be? Let's see. You need to go back on your... I was testing you. He was temporarily freed from an EM build because... because of Tar's collab things. Alright, BAP. There we go. Okay. Ideal Singcho build. Wait. Ideal Singcho build. There we go. Bam. And Kirara can stay here. Praying for nice and smooth charge attack cancel and Nefer. Yeah. Her entire gameplay nuance and how much she can be min-maxed really hinges on that. It's very much known that she can have a charge attack cancel. We already know that. We just don't know the true min-max ability of it right now. I understand people that say Columbine is going to power creep. I know. What if you want to play two non-cry DPS at the same time? Yep. That's a very important thing to remember as well. To be clear, we don't have any obvious non-cry DPSs on the horizon. Like, Varka might not be a non-cry on-fielder. Alice might not be non-cry. It seems like Durin's kit is implying they're going to go Hexen circles. We're going to have non-cry racism and Hexen circle racism in the same year. So it's possible Flynn's and Nefer are the only non-cry DPSs we get for 5 stars. So it might only be a factor for if you want to play both of those two characters. I know hate is mostly motivated by people being elitist about 5 stars. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Wait, do I have the Columbina blessing? Does it count in the domain? I don't know. I don't think it does. Maybe it does. I don't think I've been doing normal attacks that way. Wow. Wait, I was gonna check how much ER I can get on, or ER, how much HP I can get on Kirara by stealing my Nilu build. Yes. Yeah, maybe. I was looking for that. Definitely am not hoping to get an attack timepiece so that I could start trying to use this set on other characters. Definitely not looking for the attack timepiece version of this to use on Lanyan. Nope. Definitely was looking for a death timepiece. Save the Mona video when Duan releases? Yeah, probably. Oops. Why did I not hold E? Whatever. 100k balloon? Yeah, of course. That's how my signature roll. It's also just loudly being broken as hell. Hello, hello. Nefer will skill on defense, true. Wow. I mean, I did say I wanted attack timepieces, so I guess I shouldn't complain. Okay. You know, if the full Durin kit, including multipliers, is out, no, we'll probably have it like right as the banner ends. But I don't think the Durin kit should influence anyone's current polling decisions that much. So yeah, we'll have it next week. Is my point. I didn't holdy. Whatever. Who cares? Now. Yep. Bye, please. But yeah, those things, by the way. So if you want to simulate what the effect is in the Abyss is going to be in a few days, imagine having to fight 2 of those. But so bring a team that does not have. Oh wait, no, the Columbina Blessing will F things, don't it? Okay, well never mind. I don't think you can test this then. Unless you can turn on. Well, you can turn off the Columbina Blessing. I don't remember how long it's active for, but anyways, how tanky this is when you fight this without Nogcries. All right, this will be an Abyss, but a much more tanky version of it, and not one of them, 2 of them. Sequentially, not at the same time. If they're at the same time, that'd be actually very much more doable. We need a Lunar Traveler ASAP. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Traveler doesn't just count as a Nogcry character immediately. It would have solved some problems. I already have a good enough attack circlet. I don't think I need that. All right, well. Someday that defense timepiece might be relevant. Well, I don't know. Is there a character? I'm trying to think. Who's defense scaling? DPS Shalonen with a Nefer. I know. all the defense scaling characters don't care about doing reactions. Chiori, you getting Nefer? Yep, that's the plan. Abyss resets when in 4 days. Yeah, the defense scaling characters in the game don't actually care about doing reactions. They I don't think that timepiece is ever going to be relevant, is it? That makes me sad a little bit, because I could have definitely figured out a use for it with an HP timepiece. Definitely would have appreciated an attack double crit with ER. But no, okay. Well, that's fine. We can go look at what my Nefer build looks like. Oh, actually, well, not technically, but the only way I could perfect it further is by re-rolling my ER timepiece. I basically get out of here. Don't know who you are. If you're in chat, you can let me know what you need. Maybe I'll consider letting you in. But you were in the way at the wrong time. I finally, so for a long time, my Farina on Tenacity, I've been strongboxing Farina for Tenacity for Farinas for freaking ever. Like for over 6 months now, I think. Not like 100%. It wasn't like every artifact I strongboxed for Tenacity. I did do some strongboxing for other sets. Laresh. But I was stuck on a flower. Like I ended up getting this good circlet. I have a cracked off piece. I have a good ER timepiece. I have good options for HP timepiece if I want to do that, right? This is very good. And then this, if I want a little bit more CV, it's the like inverse balance of this one. And right, I have like, and I have good feather options. I have this one with 30 CV, 34 CV with 2 ER rolls. If I don't need the ER rolls, I have this with HP. But my flower was cope. And then I got the Dream Flower yesterday. 4-line double crit ER. And it rolled literally perfectly. Like, this is actually exactly what I wanted it to roll like. I'm not kidding. And it started with min roll crit rate. So it high rolled out the butt. I was like, holy. Which feels really good because I've gotten trolled to shit for super low rolls with artifacts in the last week. If you watched any of my streams in the last week. So thank you, game. My Farina build is essentially perfected now. Other than the fact that Farina still doesn't have a universal build, to be clear, because if I want to play Farina with that Sethos and a Nefer together, well, then I should put her on the Serenade set. Actually, speaking of, I actually have a bunch of, I didn't even think about that. I have a bunch of HP main stat pieces in Serenade. I should level up. I might actually have potential cracked pieces for Serenade Farina. Ooh. Hold, please. So, this is a reroll piece, if I've ever seen one. I'm not going to do it now, mind you. But, like, you know, 4-line double crit HP, and I think it was high. I think it was high roll. I have this 30 CV with ER and EM options, whatever. And then I have not leveled an HP timepiece, but I have this double crit 4-line. I have that double crit high roll. I have that double crit ER. I don't have a double crit. How do I have 3 double crit HP timepieces? I haven't got a double crit ER timepiece though. But probably don't need ER timepiece because it's 2-piece ER. And then goblets. I have a Hydro Goblet. More importantly, double crit with EM. Double crit with ER. Double crit with EM. Crit rate ER. Like, I have 3 on-set goblets and timepieces. Like, okay. And then meanwhile, circlets, I have nothing. I have this circlet, but meanwhile, I can't get a crit circlet with crit damage subset. What is... Oh, wait, no, I have this. I forgot. I lied. Okay. But it doesn't have any other good stats. So, Farina Tenacity Showcase win. I mean, I could do another Farina Tenacity stream, but the original Farina Tenacity stream, I showed Farina Tenacity versus Golden Troop and was consistently surprised that even with a C2 Farina, where you would think having the better damage set in Farina, because, you know, C2 Farina makes her do a bunch more damage, would be better, but like basically every context that it was relevant to have an extra attack buff, I found it better to have Tenacity on Farina. Hence why she's basically always on Tenacity now for me, and why I've been so hard in the direction of trying to get a cracked Tenacity build. This build is slightly lower crit value than my Golden Troop build was. My Golden Troop build was like 80, was it 85, 170? I think it was 85, 170, which is like a lot more CV. Don't get me wrong, it's like 25 more CV, but it also had way lower HP substats. Like I have 2, 3 if you count this, and lower ER. And then, yeah, 4 HP substats here. Like, I have way better HP substats than I had in my Golden Troop build, so. Thought I was supposed to build Golden Troop for now. I mean, if you're playing her always with Nubilet, you should use Golden Troop. If you're playing her, generally speaking, though, with, like, any attack scaling on fielder, would be the simple rule. You should use Tenacity. I am someone who tends to use Farina in a lot of different teams, and very, very often, almost always, with attack scaling damage dealers in the team. And yep. So, have I noticed a significant difference in Farina's damage since getting this flower? No. I'm just more satisfied with it. And oh yeah, if you want to see, so if I want to switch to HP timepiece, crap. So there's that one. If I want more crit rate, 8150, 208 ER, 41k HP. And by the way, yes, I know. Oh, HP Hydro Goblet is better with a C2 Farina, except one. No, not always, because every context you use C2 Farina in doesn't always max out her C2 self HP buff. And if you don't max out C2 Farina's self HP buff, HP Goblet is still better on C2 Farina. And also, it's not so much worse that Hydro Goblet is just always used. It still kind of just depends on substats, and my Hydro Goblets are actually goblets in my account that are just... I have decent options, but definitely not anything to this quality. So that stays on her, basically permanently. It's even something I verified, because I wasn't even sure for sure that this would be the best, but this is one of the few times I actually went and used the Genshin Optimizer to check my artifacts. And it pretty consistently told me this was the best goblet for my Farina with C2. Even with C2 maxed out, generally speaking. And then, yeah, that build, if I want the higher crit damage, don't need the ER. Yep. So, yeah. My Tenacity Farina is essentially perfected. Yes, could technically improve this, but I've already tried to reroll it once. That was kind of a waste. My current reroll priority is actually my Nefer pieces, by the way. Do I get the reroll feather this week or next week? Wait, that was the right thing. The weekly process completed. Yeah, next week. Okay. So next week, I will probably reroll. It's my Nefer build. I don't know what weapon I will end up using on her. My inclination is to wish on the weapon banner, and maybe I'll get her sig, but I'm actually going to be perfectly happy getting R1 of the stupid I got filtered to you of the stupid crashable that is basically Widzith but not RNG. Like at R1, I believe the average damage is the same as Widzith. Widzith, if you optimize around RNG, could be better than R1 of the did I say craftable? Gotcha weapon, sorry. 4-star weapon. That's a dumb brain derp. I wish it was craftable. I really wish it was craftable. Wait, sorry, at R5 it's the same as... No, sorry, R5 is just... The R5 of the new gotcha weapon is the same as if you got Widzid buff to roll the 480 EM every single rotation. It's like on average, because it's 240 EM but with 100% uptime, whereas Widzith is 480 EM at best with 50% uptime, but you'd have to RNG misery optimize around it because it's a 1 in 3. So, and by the way, Widzith, when you get the 480 EM buff, will give you damage numbers that are similar or bigger, well, basically the same as what her signature weapon does for her, but only, if you're not optimizing around RNG, it's 1/6 uptime. So on average, it's much less than that. But yeah, if you have an R5 Widzith, I would say there's not much reason to bother with the craftable. But otherwise, like the craftable is very good for her. Widzith getting 50% uptime is too good RNG. Yeah, so anyways, I would basically consider, I'd say on like an averaged out experience, R1 of the new gotcha 4-star weapon catalyst is going to be equivalent to Widzith, and it's slightly better than the craftable kind of thing. And I will probably use that on Nefer. Or if I get her sig, I'll use her sig probably, because why would I not? Well, I mean, the reason I would not is if I want to make her more relatable, but that's fine. I can just use Widzith or whatever. But I do plan to test a bunch of sack frags, because it's possible that sack frags will just be more enjoyable to me for a gameplay nuance. But sack frags is a bit of a question mark on its relevancy for her, because the passive isn't necessarily useful unless you min-max with like charge attack cancels in it, but like whether or not you can actually do that is super unknown right now. Is there sig a great universal weapon? It's more universal. I like, yes is my answer. It's part of the reason I'm fine with risking going for it a little bit with the 4 stars on the banner too. Farina's signature weapon is Pooh Bear garbage though, and I already have it. Like honestly, if I get Farina's signature weapon, I will throw it in the trash. I don't even care about refining it. I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. I have zero qualms about using it as XP. I will throw it in the trash, because that's what it is. I already have a copy of it, and I never use it. It's already basically trash at level 90, but I use it on Kirara because it looks cool, and it technically is okay on Kirara. But no, I don't even want it R2. I think having R2 of this weapon would be a stain on my account, and I'd rather pretend it doesn't exist if I get it. But we'll see what happens. There's a big question mark that Lanyan is rerunning next patch, and there's a very good chance Lanyan reruns on Arlecchino Zhongli banner rather than on Nefer banner. But please, Hoyovers, surely we can cope with Lanyan. Lanyan doesn't have zero synergy with Nefer, because you want to, like, most people are going to want defensive utility. And then Lanyan C4 gives EM after you have to use it first though. But Lanyan C4, and that's totally not ideal, but Lanyan C4 does give 60 EM. And that's it's not nothing. It's not nothing, okay? It's not nothing. Yeah, Lanyan's gonna be on Arlecchino better. Oh man, I would have been so much happier. Like as much as I am a hater of Arlecchino's signature weapon, I like Arlecchino. And I would have been much happier like getting Arlecchino's signature weapon and dealing with the clunkiness of Arlecchino's signature weapon and it being a very tiny upgrade over R3 Jade Spear. But no, instead Mihoyo gotta make the shitty weapon banner because they think it's better bait. Because people are dumb and they will pull on that banner because Frina blue stick. I don't know. Anyways. Here's Frina's real signature weapon, by the way, if you want a 5-star for her. Sorry. You missed it. The banner just happened. Not really. Here's Frina's signature weapon. You missed it. The banner just happened. Wait, is it on banner currently? No. It might have been on the previous banner. I don't know. Worth going over Nefer weapon if you don't have the intention to go to pity just for getting R1 Downing Frost? Probably not, no. Like, you know how RNG hell 4 stars are on character banner? Double that RNG hell on weapon banner. Well, not quite, because technically 4 stars have a higher base rate of dropping, and I believe the 4 stars are 75% rather than 50%, so technically that's not true. It's more like the same RNG hell. It's still RNG hell. You could easily do 60 pulls on the weapon banner, go to pity, get Farina's stupid blue stick, and get no R1 of Dawning Frost. I'm stupid and I want R1 of it. Because I like stupidity. I don't know. I'm probably gonna do. I have a guarantee for Nefer, so I'm going to have the ability to throw some wishes on it. But we'll see what happens. The thing is, you guys voted for Lanyon to be level 100, and now my excuse is, it doesn't matter if I spend money for Lanyon, right? I can choose to spend my I can commit sins for Lanyon because of 2 reasons. One, you guys voted to level 100 her. And that means you already basically voted to sin commit Lanyon. Because functionally this was money spent for Lanyon already. So at this point, what does it matter if I spend money for C6 Lanyon? Money was already spent because you decided that. That's fine. And my other excuse is, I already spent the average amount of pulls you can expect getting a C6 4-star to take. Actually, it's even less than this because Lanyon was free for Lantern, right? So you only need 6 copies, not 7 copies. But anyway, so the average amount of pulls you would expect is about like 200 pulls to get C6 Lanyon. I spent 200 pulls. I spent 200 pulls on Lanyon's banner. I did that. I spent the prerequisite number of pulls, and I got 2 copies. It took me 140, I think it took me 130 or 140 pulls to get C1. C1 was the one I needed to actually DPS her properly. And then I continued pulling for C2, and it took like 70 more pulls. And then I got C3 from a random weapon banner. Like, this character, look, I already paid. I already paid the tax. So you know what? I'm just going to say, for the convenience of not having to, like, I would have preferred earning C6 Lanyon without having to commit sins. But sins have functionally already been committed for Lanyon. I already paid what it should have gotten me C6 Lanyon in the first place. So frick it, if I have to use the excuse of I'm a content creator, I can justify the cost and just get C6 Lanyon, I'll do it. But I will say, I will commit if I wish, I don't know if I'll do this on Arlecchino banner, but if I do wish an Arlecchino banner for C6 Lanyon and I end up getting C2 Arlecchino in going for C6 Lanyon, I am not going to activate C2 Arlecchino. It would stay unactivated forever. If I end up getting C2 Arlecchino without spending money, then I will consider activating C2 Arlecchino. Okay? That's my line. That's my line. What if I bowl in Zhongli? But that is another character to build. And he has some interesting meme potential, but the problem is, like, I think I'd want Albedo more as far as, like, building a Geo unit that has interesting implication for team building. Like, I don't want to have another character to build. I really don't. By the way, Zhongli's a perfectly fine last slot in Nefer teams. I forgot about that. You don't necessarily have to build him. I mean, I would for the things I'd want to use him for. There's 2 things I want to use him for. Either microwave comps, so that's where you utilize the fact that his skill like does the little pulsing wave of Geo, and that synchronizes with the other Geo constructs around. Or the microwave, which I think is just really cope nowadays, by the way. I just think it can't get there. I think it's just going to be really bad, which is what makes me sad about like the current progression of endgame is like things that used to be sure cope we're still able to clear and were fun. Like, I want to know why I haven't done DPS Kirara much anymore. It's because DPS Kirara can't really clear anymore. It doesn't feel very good. So anyways, microwave is upwards of 60k DPS. Okay, I lied. Then it can clear, and that would be fun. I don't know, but it takes building multiple characters, and I don't. It'd be weird. It'd be interesting, but it'd be a lot of resources. And then the only other thing is physical Zhongli, which would also take a lot of resources. So make him a shield bot. I don't give a shit about Zhongli as a shield bot. Look, I'm someone who, when I went onto my casual account to clear floor 11 the other day, and I used Mualani, Xiangling, Sucrose, Candice, so no defensive utility Mualani, and I had to deal with Ruin Guards smacking my ass, and I had to retry for 20 minutes straight. I had a good time. I have a good time. So, and also I have so many options for defensive utility alternatives to Zhongli that I just don't need. I don't need him for shielding. The only reason to care about him for shielding for me is for like practicing combos. So, yeah. Anyways, C6 Lania is a minor sin compared to the Dia and Yailon Pulse. I didn't commit any sins for Dia. No sins were committed for Dia. Just dumbass luck. The fact that I was able to get 3 copies of Dia from the banner was just lucky. Like I planned around it. I was saving my Pimo gems for it. That wasn't sins. Don't you dare accuse me of sins for Dia. The Yaelon banner wishing was sins. That was sins for the stupid video idea. That then turned into sins for Lanyan because that's what you voted for. Not waiting for the free con. I mean, that wasn't a sin. I didn't spend money for it. That was just stupid. Stupid that paid off. And I'm you know, I don't regret it. I think that was a really good thematic way to end my Dia. I mean, not really end. I'm still playing Dia. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Anyways, I need to figure out if I actually end up wanting to play Nilou, because my choices for this thing, C1 Shenhe is kind of interesting. I actually like C1 Shenhe because it gives her a lot of flexibility, and in Stygian, this makes her a far more usable character in Stygian. Like I kind of would like that eventually. You only get 4 per year, right? I like Yai a lot. I already have C6 Dia, so I don't need that. So Dia, Kaching, Mona would be Star Glitter Pulse. Diluc if I want to make it so any future Dilucs or whatever, but probably not. Well, there's no way to do that, because if I want Mestrel's Fortuna, I just choose it from there. But so Dia would just be lol. Why not do Dia? But Dia, Yai, Shenhe are probably the priority for me, right? What does your C1 do? I don't think it does anything. Dia upgrading, yeah, the Dia upgrading journey. What does end user license agreement C1 do? I think nothing. Okay. Wow. Why? Does this apply to her burst, or does this only apply to her normal attacks after her burst? Does this apply to her first burst, or does this only apply after her burst? It is for burst too. Oh, okay. Never mind. It's fine then. That's my bad. Okay. That's fine. Interesting. Interesting then, actually. I'm getting it? Okay. Streaming right after new video? Yeah, because I was awake. Have you tried the llama new thing on Stygian? Yeah, a little bit. I found it not very fun, because I don't find the crab very fun. I got as close, I think, to... What did I do? I don't even remember. I don't know. It's just annoying because of like the RNG, the seed placement. Well, it's I don't know. And the way that Mona works against it, I found really awkward. But anyways, it's a cool thing you can do. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it because I think it, more than anything, just highlights the design problems of the crab, less than, oh, this is fun. It just feels like, wow, cool. They designed this enemy to be so shill. They probably didn't intend it to be this shill, but it's so shill to Lauma that Lauma can clear it in 20 seconds. And if you have a C2 Nahida, you have to play really well and deal with annoying layers of RNG for dire difficulty, right? To clear it in 120 seconds. Cool. 10 out of 10 design. Like, that doesn't feel good to me. I don't know. Which boss? The crab. Lauma hold E when you build around it, particularly with an interaction with Mona, which theoretically shouldn't work, but for whatever reason it does. Mona Lauma combo with Lauma build for damage. You need Ino then, right? You know, I don't technically need, but you want Ino. Can literally kill the crab in less than 60 seconds at dire difficulty. But yeah, I don't know. I found using any kind of non-Lauma team against that boss extremely unfun. And I strongly feel it's one of the worst designed enemies in the game, and it's my personal most disliked enemy in the game as far as how they designed it. So, yeah. Anyways. It's something that's funny to see, but also just makes me sad. Because I strongly feel, even more than like any question of how they're balancing character kits, I think how they're balancing enemies, or how they're designing enemies relative to character kits, is worse than how they're balancing character kits. But, yeah. Wait, that shouldn't work. Does Omen work on our lunar damage or what? It seems to work because it applies, the Omen buff applies to the entities. And, I don't know, it seems to be a bug. Because it really shouldn't. Like, yeah, it shouldn't, but something about the way the Omen buff applies and is coded in the game seems to work on the seeds, and then when the seeds translate their damage to the crab itself, they get amplified by Mona. Yeah, it's like double dipping on the Omen buff in a weird ass way. As far as I'm aware, the Omen buff doesn't work just like when you do Holy normally. So, anyways. Of skipping next banner, including skipping for C1, C2, I only have C0, and saving for Durin and Columbine. Yeah, it's probably a good bet. If based on what we've seen from Durin's hit, what's rumored, it's very likely that they're gonna do Hexen Circle shilling. So, you know, probably bosses that want 2 Hexen Circles characters. And then Durin being a versatile off-field damage dealer and buffer. That's what he's currently rumored to be. Where he either buffs more if you want more buffing, and then it turns off his damage. Well, by turn off his damage, I don't know if it literally turns off. He probably still does some damage, but how much damage is question mark. But he seems to have a like high damage off-field mode, but no buffing, versus a buffing mode but low damage, and also additional synergy with Hexen Circle characters and Samilanka characters, supposedly. But yeah. Recent enemy shill is pretty bad. Moonfly is good, though. Tars. I agree with you, but I really wish the Moonfly didn't exist in conjunction with the Duckle. And the in particular. The Knuckle Duckle kills my enjoyment of the Moonfly in Abyss. But the fact that the Moonfly it does not seem to be made to shill any particular character. The only thing the Moonfly maybe was made to do was be anti-Arlecchino and Clorind, and maybe anti-Farina, but doesn't even do a successful job at that, because Farina teams tend to have enough healing to not, or a lot of Farina teams have enough healing that that's not a problem. So like, I like the Moonfly's design. I think it's a little annoying with its RNG, because I can tell you, the thing I am frustrated by and why I kind of had a groan when I read Tarz's comment was I spent like 8 hours trying to do clears for a collab for account swapping with Tars, and the main team I have used is a team that, because of it wasn't because of the team what I was using in the Moonfly. It was because of the fact that it's, you know, Abyss's structure of you have to do it, you know, if you're trying to like do a clear that's on the edge on both sides, you have to, you know, have a good clear on the first side and then a good clear on the second side. And the team I was trying to use, and I was trying to use many different teams. So basically the same team on the first side, and I was trying many different teams on the second side. And I was constantly running into the difference maker for whether or not I got a good clear on the Moonfly seemed to be down to RNG on whether or not, on how long it took to do its second debuff application after its first down phase. Right? Which has made me hate the Moonfly a lot more. Because it just really felt like, oh, your team didn't reach a breakpoint of doing like 5 to 10k more DPS, negative 40 seconds. And in negative 40 seconds was enough that it was a restart. So it's just like, ugh. But everything else I'm fine with. I just really dislike the I dislike the inconsistency in which it applies its second buff after its first down phase. And then Knuckle Duckle I hate because it's also an extremely breakpoint boss. Where the team I was using, the optimization didn't really, like, how much damage I was dealing to it hardly fucking mattered because I could not reach a damage breakpoint. Doesn't matter how well I played. I could not reach a damage breakpoint to kill it before it did its second shield phase. And therefore the optimization on Knuckle Duckle came down entirely to how fast I got the ducks that it spawns broken, like how much electro charge did I apply to it as fast as possible. And like that felt RNG as shit too because of how they move around. Like, god, I hate the Knuckle Duckle. So I don't know, that the collab with Tars, the reason I haven't recorded that yet and the reason I didn't stream it yet, and the reason it might now, I still plan on doing a collab with Tars, but it might have it might be different than how I've done like the account swapping collabs before. By the way, boy am I doing good at prepping for Nefer. Apparently I'm distracted. So anyways, point is, I have learned to hate this current Abyss cycle, and this Abyss cycle might be the most flexible one for a while. Oh, so anyways, Jean basically counters it even using Clearance. A lot of things counter it. The problem I was facing is that there's barely any team options that are interesting from a context of like, if I wanted to showcase a like fun team that was a little bit of a challenge on the second side, my choice, but I also like wanted, what do I do in the first side then? Well, you do something that either trivializes the first side, or you have something that's really hard on the first side. But having something that's really hard on the first side, like really on the line, and then also having something that's on the line on the second side, or whatever other problems. I'm not going to spoil what it is because I don't want to say what it is because I think Tars is still watching, and I don't want to tell Tars what the teams were because I might still have him play the teams at least for Chamber 1 and 2 because I cleared Chamber 1 and 2. I did clear Chamber 1 and 2 with the teams. It didn't take me that long. It took me like 30 minutes to an hour, like a realistic amount of time. But then Chamber 3 became a nightmare because of Knuckle Duckle and trying to optimize killing the things. So anyways, artifact route, that's true, I should do an artifact route. What I was going to do was I was going to look at Nefer. So actually we're going to look at Nefer. Let's see, what do I need? Why did I have that still open? What is the Jeb doing? Have Mount, Freeze, Skirk, Varessa Overload, Flynn's Lunar Charge. Is he evaluating the relevancy of like these teams and their ability to deal with different forms of content? That's my guess. I don't know. Nefer. So check the overworld materials first. Wait, we should go down to this. So Nefer, you can leave her normal attack level 1. I will plan on leveling her burst to 6, but okay, let's see. Yep. Okay. So her boss, by the way, is new. So I will. That's not gonna. Well, as long as I plan around it, probably. As long as I save my resin, I should be able to get her level 90 day 1. Let's see. Yep, I have enough of those, I figured, because I've been grabbing those a lot. Okay. And then we have Dendro Crystals. Gotta look at, but 67, 74, the Fatui drops. Okay. And I have enough heroes wits, which is good. Not a ton. I should probably farm more. Because there's some other characters I want to level. Which boss drop do you use? You use... button. What is that? Is that the rook or is that the queen? That is rook. Yeah, okay. I have plenty of rooks. That's good. Dendro crystals. Ooh. Oh, ascension crystals. Well, it's not like there's a pyro character that's a support / off-field damage dealer that I might want to be pulling for anytime soon. So it's not like I need the pyro ascension crystals or anything, right, guys? This is part of the reason I want to pull for less characters, by the way. I want Never. I think she seems fun to me. Maybe I'll end up not liking her, but this is part of the reason this is strongly part of the reason I don't want to pull Flynn's. Like, I think he's actually fun, but I think I get basically 98% of the value I can get out of him by having him a poems only if I want to play him. There's some like things that would be interesting on my main account to have, like that I could do with C2 Shalonen, for example. Would be kind of fun, but like not enough to justify the resource cost just even on the freaking ascension crystal problem. Stupid. Is it because you don't do weekly? No, I have been doing weeklies. You don't realize how shit they give you so freaking few of these. They give you so few of these. How are you this low? I probably leveled more characters than you have. And I didn't realize... I realized way too late after they did the World Level 9 thing. When they did World Level 9 where they increased the number of boss drops, I farmed and leveled for many characters at World Level 9. And at World Level 9, you get more boss drops, so you have to spend you get to spend less resin to getting the boss drops. Yay! Except you get the same amount of Ascension Crystals. And even at World Level 8, they don't actually give you enough Ascension Crystals from just the resin farming from the boss materials alone. But usually with the other sources of these, they usually weren't that much of a problem to run out of, right? But at World Level 9, you do just run out of them, even if you farm weekly bosses. So, I have 45 max ascended characters and a few bit lower. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You can do the math on the RNG of these, and you can see that it's a net negative. Again, I don't know when you like Farron. I don't know when you leveled your characters. I don't know what world level you were at when you leveled all those characters. I have consistently been losing Ascension Crystals over time because of how many characters I've been leveling up, and it is unironically a reason I don't want to pull some new characters. It's so stupid. Anyways, last I checked, I still have enough for like 3 characters to be fully ascended from like nothing, so I'm chill, I think, with like Dust of Azoth conversion and whatever. You know, crown or skill or burst. The plan is to crown or skill. Okay, so we're good. Well, we're not good on Ascension Crystals, but it will be what it will be. And I think this is her material, right? Elysium. I definitely need more of those. Crap. Right? Yeah, that is indeed Elysium. Okie dokie. God dang it. Okay, so, Well. First actually check the monster drops. That's the wrong page. Okay, I have a lot of those. 95, so... Okay, let's just craft those then. Let's see where... Table. Heard boss drops Cryo Hydro? Yeah. All I care is just whether or not they drop. I actually do need to farm weekly bosses this week, by the way. Artifact event has made me spend all my resonant artifacts when I shouldn't have. You know what I'm going to do? This might sound weird. I'm actually finally going to try to get Whimsy on Arlecchino. I haven't bothered for a long time because I have such good Gladiator build. But I'm at the point where I want Whimsy on Arlecchino because I want to use my Gladiator artifacts on other characters. So now that I finally finished with Tenacity, I'm going to move on to Whimsy. Alright, garbage. I'll just stick with that. Okay. Sorry, brief distraction. Let's see. Okay. So, yeah, I need a lot of these. Okay, I'm going to have to spend all of my resin on Tuesday, Friday, Sunday this week on this. And probably save resin for it too. That's one nice thing actually with the condensed resin change. So you can save, what is it, 300? So I could easily actually spend all my resin literally if I saved with condensed. Which I might have to do. Just boring to do that. I'm too when there's new artifacts, I'm too artifact brain rotted. I really want to farm artifacts. Yeah, I've played for years, but I haven't played since 1.0. Like I started Genshin in 2.4, 2.3, 2.4. Shenhe Banner was when I started. So yeah. As far as the Ascension Crystal problem goes. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have a really big surplus. Tars, for example, has a giant surplus of Ascension Crystals. So no EM Sands or Goblet for Nefer Pain. Yeah, I think a lot of people will have to... So plan around this now if you have any elixirs, or if you can get any elixirs. Will want to consider crafting an EM Goblet potentially, in particular, because EM Goblet drop rate is absurdly low at a baseline, and then getting double crit on them is like... It's literally the rarest artifact you can possibly get is an EM double crit goblet, and that's what she wants. And she only cares about EM main stat goblet and double crit on it. No other stats are relevant. Like it's only just double crit. So, like it's one of the best possible use cases to use elixirs. And even if it only is 4 low rolls, elixirs will guarantee at least 4 minimum rolls. 4 minimum rolls into a double crit on-set goblet will still be incredibly valuable for giving you the option to do off-piece, timepiece, for example. And then you just do whatever flower and feather, and then do a crit circlet, and you're chilling. What was that in here for? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wait, we can select like Llama or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We need, how many do we need? 67. Okay. Sucrose, we don't need to do 60. Sucrose is, we do 50, and sucrose doubles to 67. I was right. Wow. That is, what is sucrose drop rate is 10%. That is literally double the drop rate. That is a 20% drop rate. Thank you, sucrose. All right, cool. That is all I need for those, and then I need some more of the middle tier one. I need 74. How many do I have? I have 43. Bam. Done. Only 2. Doesn't matter. We have 78. I needed 74. We're chilling. Okay, we're good with the monster material. Should I figure out the Ascension Crystal problem right now? Oh boy. Well, first of all, let's look at. Okay, we can convert all these. Wait, how many? 20. Yeah, I can just craft all this. Why haven't they? You know, they could release a character. I would pull a 5-star character just to reduce if they like refunded me 50% Ascension crystals. Okay. 19. We need 9 of them, so we can do that. Well, sick. We have enough to level her to 60. Yay. Oh boy. Can I just do pyro? How many let's go and run the okay. Craft, I can craft 16 of these. You need the equivalent of 9 to be able to fully ascend a character. So I have enough pyro crystals then that even if I use all pyro crystals for Nefer, with whatever I get from Nefer and then whatever I get for Durin, assuming I get Durin, I should be fine. I'll be fine on the Ascension crystals for Durin at least. The question is really just who else do I want to level in the meantime? That's up in the air. But oh well, let's just plan around Nefer for now. Okay. First of all, craft 1 more of these. Bap. And then we do 6. Bap. That gives 9. Okay. are done with that. We have 9 of those, 9 of those. We need 6 of the big boys. Of the big boys, oh boy. Okay, and we do that just by consuming all our pyrocrystals. Okay. And make sure we switch to this. Oh, I'm out of dust at Basil. I was like, why isn't it showing up? Okay. And oh god, freaking why? Stupid. Stupid system. What a stupid system. Whatever. Alright. We're good. Done. 6 of those. Okay, 6 of those. 9 of those. 9 of those. And we have 1 of the baseline, I believe. Cool. We're done. Got the Ascension Crystal problem figured out. Tiny bit of crystals from Teapot gift sets. Yeah, maybe that's where all my maybe that's where I'm missing them. Oh boy. You're pre-farming for Nefer Sig too? No. I am not guaranteed to get Nefer's signature weapon. I have a guarantee for Nefer. And by the way, even if I didn't do the stupid wishing video, I would have had a guarantee for Nefer anyways, if I hadn't spent a bunch of extra money, because if I hadn't done the stupid wishing video for the level 100 dumb thing, I would have wished for Ino C2, I believe, and I don't think I got Ino C2 until I hit Pity. Let's actually double check. Would I have hit Pity when I got the Ino C2? Because that was my plan. I was like, okay, either I'm gonna do this stupid video, which is what I did, or I'm just gonna wish for Ino C2. And so in the alternate reality, so I have a guarantee right now from Mona. I ended on Mona, and I'm gonna carry that guarantee over, and use that on Nefer, right? But I think I would have had a guarantee regardless, because I lost a 50-50 to Luke, which is probably what would have happened if I had just gone for Ino C2, I believe. We just need to go back to where the Luke was. Yeah, okay, there's the Luke. Okay. And then we need to, it's all 930, 930, 930, 930. There we go. Yeah, so there's Llama. Yeah, so there's the Llama. And then did wishing on the banner. No Inos, no Inos, no Inos. No Inos. There's an Ino, 1 Ino, but I would have been wishing for C2 Ino. Yep, I didn't get C2 Ino until after the 5-star. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I would have had a guarantee regardless in the alternate reality. So my argument is that no sins were committed functionally. Functionally. Well, kind of still, because I wouldn't have as many Primo Gems as I have right now. Like, I'd probably have to farm my ass a little bit to be able to get Nefer with a guarantee. But I wouldn't be that far away. So anyways, 3 Hydra apps worth it? It depends on the team. So anyways, you voted for your Ino video again today? Thanks. I forgot about that thing. Okay. Any other resources? Sorry. Oh yeah, just the talent materials. Can't do the boss drops. Okay, cool. So yeah, talent materials. We can estimate the resin theoretically, but I'm not really too worried about that. I might leave her burst level 1 initially. We'll see how many things I can get. Layla, do you want to double for me? I mean, 1 extra is more than 0. That's not even enough to get to level 6 yet. Sick. Well, level 6 on 1 talent. I have enough for level 8 on skill. That's not very high. But level 8, I have enough for a usable Nefer, okay? Like, without having to spend any more resin, I have a usable Nefer. Sick. That's kind of all we need. What happened so far? A lot of yappy distraction, mostly related to Nefer. And then and finishing prepping for Nefer. Oh yeah, I didn't even show my freaking build. I have showed it before, but I got a new artifact, which I'm pretty sure is better. So this piece I'm going to reroll next week, I think. This is a 4-line with crit damage EM. The only, like, question mark, maybe it's not worth rerolling this piece, is because, you know, maybe in the future I end up having a like really min-max build that wants a crit damage circlet, but that would require a pretty heavy crit rate substats in the other pieces, and the current artifacts I have are all fairly heavy on crit damage substats, so that means I'm fairly certain I don't think I will ever switch to a crit damage circlet build. So I'm fine with rerolling this, is my point, and it will guarantee at least one additional stat roll. Hopefully more, because this has a very high potential as being the perfect circlet, although it started with minimum rolls if I recall, so that's not ideal, but oh well. This goblet is essentially perfect. I mean, it's not a 4-line. I don't know. Will I consider crafting a goblet for her? Maybe, honestly, because this goblet is normally Raden's goblet, and I wouldn't mind giving it back to Raden, and then having an onset goblet for Nefer would be nice for flexibility. But I think I might not do that, because I might just want to craft I still don't have an attack timepiece in this set. Anyways, I have this timepiece. It's crit value. Yep. I also have this one, but she doesn't get any value from attack, so this is just a lower crit value piece, so unless I need the crit rate, if I want to try to get to like 100% crit rate or whatever. So yeah, easy to overcrit. I don't think I am over capped on crit right now. And then I got this. This is what I got yesterday, which all crit rolls, but a little bit low roll value. So I think it's, what is this, like 38 crit value? So very good, obviously. No EM is unfortunate, but it's fine. EM is very similar value to crit, by the way. So like this piece looks really shit compared to this piece. But I can just tell you this piece is slightly better, I believe, than this piece. By slightly better, I mean I should notice it, but like we're talking like probably minor percentage points of difference, and to the degree that like that's why I'm not gonna throw away this piece yet, until I get like if I get a double crit EM piece, I will throw this away into it, for example. But for now, if I like say I want to use this on some other character, because this, for example, could be an extremely good Dia piece. I do want to test Dia on this set with Ino and Nefer, and that's what these will actually be potentially useful for as well. And I'm actually just kind of I think a good crit damage circlet away from doing that. Now I think about it, which is interesting. So I have this, which is pretty good. And I have this I could potentially reroll. This is a 4-liner with HP. Yeah, so this feather is very good. Could have one more additional roll, but you know, this is basically a 40 CD piece for Nefer. Being that I'm running a crit rate circlet at least. So my overall crit, so with Lauma on the team, remember Lauma gives 10 crit rate and 20 crit damage to Nefer. Where is she? Oh, she's on the team, duh. So Ascendant Gleam, all party members with Lunar Bloom damage crit rate, and crit damage is 10-20%. So add 40% crit rate basically for free for Nefer. So I have 92% crit rate, and Nefer ascends with crit damage, so I have 92% crit rate and 250 whatever crit damage. Actually, that means I'll be over 200 crit damage if I want to use a non-crit weapon, which is pretty satisfying. So I want to use sack frags or craftable or whatever. But yeah, so I have a very competent Nefer build, more than competent. And I'm happy with that. What was the crit rate with this? So it's possible, particularly if I end up if I do end up like getting lucky with getting her signature randomly when going on the weapon banner, which probably is a stupid decision. The signature gives a ton of extra crit value and is going to significantly probably bias towards wanting as close to 100% crit rate as possible. So even though this piece has worse crit value, it might end up being better than this piece just because of that. So that put me at 96% crit rate though. So yeah. Anyways, that's my plan. I'll have a pretty strong Nefer on day one. And if I want to power her down, I have a death timepiece for her. Oh boy. That's the best attack timepiece I have, huh? I actually need to look. So why did I log this? I wonder... I'm not sure what the... Because Dia... I have a crit weapon for her, right? So this... 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 And then we pretend that my current circlet is an onset circlet. So we pretend my current circlet is an onset circlet. And we probably have to switch goblet, but let's see what we're at. Yeah, we're overcapped. Wait, no, we're not overcapped. We are 100% crit rate. We probably want more crit damage. Wait, no, we are overcapped because of this. No, sorry, we are 10% overcapped. Okay, yeah. We could go. Yeah, that'd be actually, yeah, that might be ideal. Okay, yeah. So this goblet would be ideal. Okay. So this would be 96 crit rate, 203 crit damage. ER is a little sus, but probably fine. Might require funneling, but probably fine with overvape at least. With 2 Pavs on the team, it's probably fine. HP is comically low. Oh wait, it's comically low because she's not active in the team right now. Alright, I actually do have artifacts for this right now, but the only problem is it would share between Nefer and her. Interesting. Okay. It's just a question of ER. Yeah, I guess it's artifact. I'll say. Oh, well, I do have artifacts, but I need a circlet. Which is, you know, pretty big deal. It's not exactly guaranteed to get a circlet this good. That's what I need. So that's what I'm looking for Dia. Do I craft a circlet then? When next patch instead of like an onset goblet for Nefer? I'll have to decide next patch. I can't craft any right now because you can only do one per patch, right? So Never want a Dendro damage on this goblet? Nope. She wants EM. She will get basically 0 value unless you're not doing hyper carry Nefer with 2 non-cry units. If you're doing like spread DPS, if you're doing very bad Alhaitham, well, not bad Alhaitham, she's basically equivalent to Alhaitham or better than Alhaitham. If you don't play her with 2 non-cries, and then Dendro damage on this goblet is probably technically ideal. But normally you're going to do hyper carry Nefer, which is when you're playing with 2 non-cries. You do EM goblet. So yeah, EM crit. If you have a really, really cracked EM circlet, like a 40 CD EM circlet, and your crit circlets are poop air garbage, then you can consider an EM circlet. So we're talking... and if you have her signature weapon, that would slightly bias you towards that. So we're talking like... yeah, probably something like these two. If not better. Like those might not be good enough to be better than a low value crit circlet. The main reason for that is if you're playing her in her best teams, they have a lot of EM buffs, right? It's the main thing you have access to buffing to with team building, right? But ultimately, if you're not doing certain things, like a lot of people won't be, for example, doing Sapwood Blade or the Claymore version, that gives the 120 EM leaf, and that might actually slightly increase the value. So point is, you can use an EM circlet. It's a consideration. In the worst case, it's not that much worse than a crit circlet, but it is usually worse. Usually. Okay, I need to go put these back on the other characters. Yeah, I'm not actually 100% certain that this... like, my Voracaucus build is really good. So even if I had this equivalent circlet on the new set, I'm only, like, wait, what is the difference compared to my Voracaucus build, right? It is... BAP. And BAP. So my Vorakash's build has more HP. Total of like 30 less crit value. And like 120 less, 160 less EM. So 160 less EM. Or sorry, but yeah, I have 160 less EM, but more HP. More damage bonus. And then like 30 CV less. I actually don't know if that would even be good enough. But the thing that's weird with Vorakash's is that Vorakash's isn't always like max stacked. It depends on enemies smacking you. And sometimes you just don't have it max stacked. So there's some like weird variability with Vorakash's. And then like Melt Dia is kind of weird too. But like the new artifacts, that doesn't work with Melt Dia. So I had forgotten that when I was doing my C6 Dia testing stream, by the way, that Vorakash's just didn't work with Sea Lolly. Overvape Dia build is this build. But theoretically, on a spreadsheet level, the new artifacts should be better. With Overvape Dia, with Ino, sorry. Without Ino, then no. Well, actually, honestly, not really no. Still gives 15 CV with the 2Ps. Or the 4Ps with just a Nefer. So, I don't know. But yeah, it's something I want to have the option to test. I also want to test these artifacts on Lanyon. Nefer materials and weapon stats site. I was using Hakushin. So it's right in the top left corner, hakush-.in. But if you type in Hakushin Genshin, you'll probably pop up. I have it saved in my... I go to it often enough on my browser that I just type in GI and it pops up, but yeah. Go on HomDigiCat. I mean, HomDigiCat. I don't think HomDigiCat has the useful little slider thing at the bottom, where it shows you the resources that you need based on doing the sliders for whatever level you're targeting and whatever. And it might, I guess, but if it does, I never notice it. So the point is, I like the UI of Hakushin. The only problem with Hakushin is for characters in beta, they can be a little bit slow to update. Like I'm pretty sure Nefer's multipliers are all updated here, for example, but if it's for characters that are coming out still, the multiplier values might not be up to date to like what the current beta version is, kind of thing. On the English side, they usually update on the Chinese side actually quicker. But good replacement for a Nefer and Overvape Dia teams? No. A Nefer is what makes it work. Sorry, in my opinion. If you want to play Dia teams that aren't a Nefer, you can do something like with Farina Sijuin. You can try to make Melt Dia work. It's a little awkward. I don't strongly recommend it. You can do Shever's Dia teams. One of my favorite Dia teams is still Shever's Dia Yai Eonson. You do Emily stuff, whatever. Like you usually want to, whenever you're playing Dia, you don't usually want to hyper carry, right? You don't want to fully rely on Dia's damage. You want to have some other sources of damage in the team. So any kind of pyro DPSing team format, you can kind of play around with that. Anyways, real quick, what is my artifact XP situation? Because what I mentioned before with the Serenade Farina for Sethos, something I haven't played around with yet, and I kind of want to. So I would have to do an off-piece, whatever. I could use that for now. I could use that. So yeah, need a level timepiece. So 4-liner, 3-liner, 3-liner, but high rolls and ER. Okay. 3-liner with EM. 3-liner, high rolls ER, low rolls EM. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. That's a really coat piece. Can I feed that? Should I feed that? Do I need that? I don't really have a better EM timepiece in this set currently. Okay. Let's just check. So I think we should level this one first. The 4-liner is the 4-liner, and 4-liners are great and all that. Yeah. I probably shouldn't throw this away because I technically don't have any other crit damage circle in the set right now, but eh. Okay. Low rolls and crit, but oh well. Should have leveled the 4-line first. Get the bad rolls out of the way on the piece that didn't have ER. Would have really preferred this one. Didn't roll defense. The problem is, like, this isn't bad. It's just I have 2 other HP 9 pieces to level, and one of them's a 4-liner. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to level 4 at least. Well, sick. See, this is why I don't like. This is part of why it kind of pisses me off that rerollers exist, because it's like, all right, that's fine. I just throw this away, right? Except it's a 4-liner, so like technically I shouldn't throw it away. But honestly, I'd rather keep this piece. This started with high rolls and it has ER, so like re-rolling this feels like it's more valuable to me than re-rolling this. Like, this is just a min-maxing crit value piece. This is min-maxing actual stat value overall because ER is good. So frick that piece. That's what my opinion is. I'm gonna pretend re-rollers don't exist for that piece, and I just don't care. All right, let's check this piece. I was slightly confused when I didn't see an upgrade, but that makes sense. Okay. Okay. I have barely any XP. I don't even have enough to... Oh, come on. I'm lazy, so I'm doing this. Well, I kind of want to save for Whimsy. Okay, it's fine. No, stop it. Okay, I guess we're doing an artifact run. I really need to do the new artifact run. That's what I should have done for today's stream, actually, for the theme. I should have done the, I have forgotten to do this. I actually need to freaking explore there too, don't I? I need to extract a couple Primo gems from that area before the FOMO gems. Where the frick is it? There's so many things right now. Come on. There it is. Okay. Yeah. I haven't done that. Did I do this? What? Oh, that's the, yeah. I actually wasn't intending to do that. Okay. I have the whole week. I have the whole week to do this. This should not be hard. That's like one stream. It should not take that long. Okay. For whom are these Serenade artifacts? The HP pieces? Oh, Ina's over there. That was for Freyna. I was leveling those. But also, I don't know, maybe Columbina. We don't know what Columbina's kit is. I suspect she will, assuming she is not a non-fielder. It's the same one I had yesterday. I've had this one 2 times already.
Hello, Miss Loma.
Maybe not. Maybe yes.
Hello, you two.
Wait, is this different because I brought Llama here?
The little rhyme-horned deer once more.
Or is it just sequential from the previous ones? It must have been sequential from the previous ones. These anecdotes are really good, by the way. I like them a lot. There was an Nefer anecdote I did yesterday about Nefer's humor.
Yes.
And I realized Nefer has my humor.
I believe it can take care of itself.
I very often, in my friend groups, tend to make deadpan jokes, or I like lean into someone else making a joke or being sarcastic, and they're just like, I was being sarcastic. And I'm like, I know, I was playing off of you being sarcastic, and like no one ever laughs. This is Llama-Lot? Okay, interesting. No one ever laughs when I make my stupid ass deadpan jokes and I explain it, and then no one laughs still, but I find it funny.
Wait,
So, you know, I think I have enough as humor.
right now?
I like to make jokes that nobody gets, but I get them in my head, and then they're funny. They're funny when you explain them.
I mean, its leg just got better. I made a perfect protective brace for it, which I haven't gotten the dare to try on yet, but once we get that in... And there's food, too. And
Okay.
Nefa and I made lots of yummy food for the deer to take home because You're not gonna find anything as nice as Nefer's cooking in the forest.
I find that kind of humor so freaking funny, actually. Maybe because I do it myself. Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't even, like... I don't even know why I started, like... I don't know, whatever. Have I considered I might be a robot? Yeah, that's my assumption. I am just a robot, I think. That is the explanation, to be honest.
Of course.
Can't wait for UGC content. Yeah, it should be fun.
Thank you.
I have high hopes.
So much, I know, and Nefer.
I do really wish they were starting with like allowing us to bring our characters into the mode so that, you know, we could see if, well, I don't know. The weird thing is maybe we'll be able to create, will we technically be able to create combat content already in it? Because they did show like an enemy, like a hilichurl that you could have spawned in the mode, and then the mannequin smacking it. But like, was that actually combat, or was that just the thing was there? I don't know. Anyways.
Please don't be
yes, I am AI robot streamer.
Too. Actually, I'm almost about to cry.
That's why I was sitting weird in my in the flexi spot chair ad. That's why I was sitting so weird. That's a robot sit in chairs. It's also how I'm sitting in the chair right now. Definitely.
I'll leave you some super comfortable bedding and get you all the food you could ever.
And I will take responsibility.
V3 may be able to bring our own units. Yeah, they said we will be able to bring our own units, but
it's asking you to go over and brush
the real question is honestly less that and just more. One, will we be able to bring our units and like actually use their kits? I assume I will default to assuming yes for that. And then, what options will we have for creating custom combat content? So, PVZ replica and beta, nice.
Miss Lauma, are you certain you can find
Anya level 100 was wondering if you get when you're scared. Her C6 to keep her on sack frags. Yep. You don't get triple skills every rotation, by the way. Lanyan's skill cooldown is 16 seconds. And two skill charges that each, and they count down sequentially, right? When you have two skill usages, they don't count down at the same time. So if you use two skills, it's going to count down 16 seconds to get the next skill back, and then it takes another 16 seconds to get another skill back. So getting two skill usages is getting two skills every 32 seconds, not getting two skills every 16 seconds.
After I take it back,
so no, C6 Lanya does not change her reliance and strength with sack frigs. I find it really funny that people ask that question so much because they act like it's a bad thing. I think it's one of the coolest things about DPS in Lanyan, that she can utilize a weapon so well that sack frags becomes a better DPS weapon for her than Widzith or any 5-star stat stick in the game. Like, I think that's a super cool and fun aspect. That sack frags absolutely stomps any 5-star weapon for her, for example. Or Widzith even with Widzith buffs up. And the only reason to use other weapons is if you don't want to spend the field time. So anyways, I see the question all the time. It makes sense that you're asking it, but what C6 will do is give
Thank you. We will
extra flexibility to front load extra damage from Lanyan at different times. Because using DPS Lanyan oftentimes ends up being very breakpointy, where like whether or not I kill an enemy with 2 skills and a burst, if I can't kill it with those, or like, you know, they have a little bit of HP left, and I have the flexibility of like switching to Farazon and doing like some Farazon charge attacks and hopefully killing them. But that's sometimes not enough, or there's crit RNG and whatever. So having C6 Lanyan, having that extra skill in your back pocket means I could use that extra skill to then kill the enemy, when I otherwise might not have been able to. So C6 Lanyan should actually be very good, but not in like a spreadsheet DPS way, it's more in a situational awareness way. On a spreadsheet level, like across like a, you know, 1 minute to 1.5 minute abyss clear, it should be like at least 2 extra skills, generally speaking. And in something like Stygian, it probably is going to result in maybe 3. Or is just valuable for getting energy right away, right? Which is always what 2 skills can be valuable for at the start of a chamber. So yeah. Anyways, it's extra front-loaded damage. It's good. But it definitely doesn't free her from sack frags. Just asking because I like using sack frags, but I don't know if another weapon would be better. Nope.
Yes.
It's not.
It is best for the children of the wild to return to the wild.
Unless you're able to do so much damage that or you want to like on-field, like I'll probably mess around with doing, when I get C6, I'll probably mess around with doing Widzith or different weapons on Lanyon.
However, it will take some time to locate its herd.
Okay.
I'm sure the little one
I assume this is the
has
last
many more
quest in this
things he
chain.
wants
But
to
Then I'll
sorry.
visit the farm every on Monday.
I will mess around with like on-fielding Farazan more because you could do like
Got to do maintenance
potentially
on
like
Nefer.
4 Farazan charge attacks in Bennett buff, which is
Sort
like
out the circuitry around here.
an extra probably 100k damage you could get out of Farazan charge attacks by choosing to on-field Farazan more. The problem with not doing extra skills on Lanyon is less ER on her.
Of course.
So
Feel free to
yeah.
visit whenever the urge strikes you.
I think my
Unless anything
YouTube chat
out
one
of
is
the blue
broken.
occurs,
No,
you
it's
may
not.
always
People are just
find
not
me
chatting that much.
near
Okay,
the Frostmourne
that's fine.
Scion's library.
All right, it's a promise. Let me think.
This was so much longer than I thought it'd be.
I
Good lord.
believe there will be enough time to.
I was trying to passively read that well also. Well, also yapping, so anyways. The deer is all healthy again. That's good. I think there's another one. Where is it? Oh, another Lamo related one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Commit sins, he is deep. I feel like Amin is watching in the past. You're too quiet for me. Yeah, you are. Oh, you know what I want to do quick while I'm over here? Because I think it's fun. I should go break into the vault. Well, the vault's already open. There's nothing to break into for me. But I'll show it anyways, or remind me. The llama anecdote's boring. I mean, I think after her Crisis of Faith arc, she's kind of a boring character, to be fair.
There's no need to. I wasn't sleeping, merely resting my eyes. Besides, this child heard your footsteps and told me.
Why's a
to
cat sitting so
watch.
weird? Looks like it's deformed.
Animals sense more than we
So
humans.
for Nefer, so
No
R1 or
darkness is a blessing
C0,
from the
R0.
Creator.
Well, if Lanyon's on the banner, which is probably not going to happen, but I can cope. If Lanyon is on the Nefer banner, then until I get C6 Lanyon. I am planning to go a little bit on the weapon banner,
Just you as a kind soul.
because I would like to get at least an R1 copy of the 4-star weapon. I'd be happy with that.
This child persuaded me to trick you
Because
by pretending
I
to
know
fall
from my own
asleep.
experience that Widzith tends to make me go insane. I'll still probably use Widzith on Nefer over like the craftable or whatever. But I don't know. It's possible. It's possible that just to avoid Widzith insanity, I would just use a Nahita's signature weapon on her. Maybe, I don't know. Like it's fine.
Let's see if she spies on you or tries to steal your. Though I have faith in
Your cat sits
noble
like that. Okay,
character,
but like with a crooked
even
leg.
I couldn't help but be a little.
The
bit
leg is
curious
what I was
about
noticing
you
with the cat.
do. Besides, it seemed.
It looked like it didn't want to
harmless
put its
enough.
butt on the ground either. Yeah, and getting copies of the polearm would be interesting. I don't know if it's ever going to be relevant, but I wouldn't mind having that 4-star polearm as
Can
an
you
option.
Forgive us?
And
I
mucking around with it.
completely Forgot to ask.
And
that's
dupes
how
of
it
the
is.
sword is kind of whatever, but
Thank
yeah.
you for your concern. All is well. As it so happens, we received a large. It doesn't wish to leave
Your
us.
Changyun arc, you're going to be a
After
boring
lot of
side
lounging
character.
around, it's enjoy-
Hello, Arlecchino. Wow. Gave me some berries. Alright, cool. I haven't finished the... I need to do some more exploration in the general area. Wow. I need to do some exploration in the general area of both here. I think I mostly just need to do quests. Then I'll probably just unlock some chests along the way. Same thing as here. Get over 90% because I'll get 2 more elixirs, which will let me either craft crit damage circlet next patch, or the thing is, if I do crit damage circlet, I don't know what stats is like. Like crit, obviously, duh, but daily Columbine interactions I haven't today. I have been forgetting in general, but I should go over there. Or EM goblet, or attack timepiece. Honestly, I don't know. Too many things with the new set. So always Sig be better than craftable and Nefer? Yes, I believe. I think that just the EM value that this gives is better. The shielding part of the passive doesn't do anything, obviously. Is it better than Nahida weapon? I think it is. If their elemental types are the same, increase EM by 32. So Nahida weapon should be a slightly worse version of... Well, maybe it's slightly better. I don't know, it's probably similar. Depends if you're doing triple Dendro or not, I think. Maybe it pushes you towards using Nahida, so you get an extra 32 EM. Which is funny. The damage doesn't do anything, so it's a question of does the EM... Like the EM for Lauma then turns into more buffing a little bit for Nefer, so... This one's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. Either... I also got to test Sackfrag shenanigans, right? For me, it's either going to be... I'd be fine with the Wizard RNG of occasionally you get giant numbers on here. You're just like, oh, nice, I got the right buff. See you next century. And then... Sackfrags would be maybe there's some combo stuff with doing 9 charge attacks on her that could be really cool, but we'll see if that is actually possible. This is basically just a slightly better version of the craftable. This, I think, is a slightly better version of the craftable. And that's, I think, basically where it's at. No reason to use Even Star on her. Well, technically, if you're using her with a Nefa, it would minorly buff a Nefa's damage, but don't. That's silly. You'd rather use the craftable to buff Nefer's damage more. Yeah. So... I just realized if they hadn't changed this to ER substat, this would be by far Nefer's best weapon. Like this would probably be significantly better than Widzith. Which is just a funny thought. Because originally this had like 400 and something EM. Yeah, it would just be a freaking cracked as hell. Jesus. Man. It would have been broken as hell on a number of characters, but like I want the EM. Like for Lauma, this weapon basically is the same as it was, to be clear, because Lauma has energy needs. So like it didn't really change much for Lauma, and that's why they did it. But it made it a lot worse for Mualani, and it made it worse for Nefer also, I didn't even think about. It would have been so cool having this weapon for Nefer, but no. They probably did that because they had to sell their stupid gotcha 4-star. Lame. That's probably the real reason they did it. I don't think they actually... the assumption was they did it because they didn't want it to be a Mualani weapon, but it wasn't such a good Mualani weapon that it like was, you need to use this on Mualani. It was just a really good Mualani weapon. But I think they did it because they wanted, because it would make them make less money for Nefer. So, oh well. Got burned a weapon banner, so I don't really want to pull for a Sig. Yeah, I wouldn't. I think well, okay. If you don't have Lauma, that's the reason to maybe more compellingly go for Sig. Like I really shouldn't go for it. It's just I know I'm going to have some extra wishes. I know I'm going to have some extra wishes, and I think I'm going to like Nefer. Also, the Sig has the signature weapon as a cat in it. That's not a real reason to pull it, but you know, that's my mindset. I don't know. I have a guarantee, but we'll see what happens with Lanyan. We'll see what happens with Lanyan. It's just I can't help but be a gambling addict, I guess. That's all. So I don't know. I really don't need it. Like and if I do a 10 pull on the weapon banner and get R1 of the craftable, I might just stop with that, right? Who else can use her Sig? Most catalysts. Whoops. So first of all, Lauma can, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, well, the crit buff applies after doing Lunar Bloom damage, so I don't know if it actually applies to Llama's Holy now that I think about it. So it might be, it's probably one of the best weapons for Llama's damage, but maybe not the best. Green weapon for Lisa, yeah. So, without going super in-depth, just a yes or no. Yes. Okay, never mind.
Huh?
Yes, but weird. Yes, silly crit DPSing things. Yes. Yes, silly crit DPSing things. Yes, but weird. You could, like, especially with Durin coming out, there's a very good chance that Nubilet maybe will have his new best team being a vape team, technically, where he might get a significant amount of vapes. So having EM on it and just a heckin' bunch of crit value, pretty good. Not gonna be better than Sig, don't get me wrong, but like Sig is too good because of energy refunding and whatever, right? Yes, but just like stat stick mostly. Like he has better weapons. I don't even know if it'd be better than Lost Prayers. Yes, but stat stick mostly, not necessarily better again than the other options. No, no, no. I mean, funny, but no. 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 Yes. Yes. Meme. Yes. Okay stat stick, I'm sure it's not bad. I don't know exactly how it places relative to like other things though. You can build Obsidian Codex in Sea Lolly, so it's I think it actually might be kind of good on Sea Lolly. If you were someone building Obsidian Codex on her. Like if I was actually a Muika player, I'd probably leave Shalonin on scroll and then put Sea Lolly on Obsidian Codex, personally. But I think very few people actually do that. And then yes, but not better than Sacrix. So no. And then already said you yes. So that's a lot of yeses. Yeah, to enough of a degree that's like, yeah, it's pretty good. And that's part of the reason I'm more willing to consider it. I like me stat sticks that give a bunch of crit. And I don't know. The only thing that will annoy me, it better not be. I haven't run the math on it. It better not be better than Kagura's Riai. I already had that circumstance with Vivid Notions, where this was without plunging. This was almost this was like 5% worse. It was really close, really close to Kagura's Verity for Riai. So in not in Aggravate. I didn't check Aggravate. I checked Overload. So. It's better for Lisa than Kagura's? Oh no. Oh no. It might be better for Yai. I haven't checked. Oh, crap. I feel like it's probably better for Aggravate. Her Sig is probably better for Yai for Aggravate. It's also ugly as hell for her though. No. No. I refuse. Anyways. What are we doing here? I was doing prep for Nefer, but my prep is basically done. Other than, I mean, I could go farm a little bit of this. I found that I'm basically completely good. I got all the materials set aside, but I need to get a little bit more of these. That's all I need to do. Let's go do an artifact route quick so we can level one artifact up to 16 at least. I think it was like level 15, right? Please? Alright. Why does all this team active, by the way?
You're not supposed to stare at bright white
What is she saying?
surfaces for too long.
Don't stare at bright white
Is
surfaces.
that really true? It's so beautiful. I can't look away.
Who would have told Llama to not stare at bright white surfaces? YouTube chat so dead at it? Yeah, I have no idea. It's kind of weird. That's why I was a little bit confused earlier. I thought it wasn't refreshing. Because I have 200 viewers, it says, but then no one be chatting. That's fine. I like me. I tend to just be yapping, and I think people like just listen to me yap, so they lurk. YouTube is dead. That's true, maybe. Anyways, Nefer. say Nefer. There you go. Why is this team here? Oh, I know why that team is there. I'm deleting that. Bye-bye. That was me trying to complete Zajeff's challenge where he said he would level 100 Veresa, or he said he would level 100 Dia before Veresa if I cleared the crab at Fearless with Sethos with 4 stars. I think it was doable, but like absolutely insanity inducing. I no, I gave up. I tried. I did try for a while. Yeah. Oh yeah, what? How much XP do I need? Wait, what's level 16? Oh no, it's a goblet. Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. I really want to throw away this EM timepiece. I mean, I'll get another one. Like, I don't. I have full EM in the set already because I have EM goblet here and I have EM circlet. I don't need this. I can feed this. Yeah, we can feed it. All right, not right now. Well, actually, is it wasting XP if I do this? It is. Ah, frick. What if I do this? It is not. Let's go. All right. Okay. All right. Well. Two EMBV pieces for Sucrose. That's cool, I think. Nice. Congrats. Certainly be a pain to get. All we can do is just not do the artifact route. Yeah. I'm doing the artifact route. Don't worry. I should have switched to a character that can run, aka Veresa. Lurking while at work? How dare you?
Are you kidding
How
me?
dare you do
It's
work?
colder than the nights in the desert.
No, it was just funny. I mean, maybe just people that watch at this time chat less. That's fine. Maybe I should stream more and slightly earlier. Well, now I'm actually streaming at my normal-ish time. I say normal-ish because I don't really have a consistent time I stream lately. Because I'm a bad streamer. Yoink. Yoink. Okay. Chungus' future is strange. Perhaps Columbina and Duran will help him? Maybe. Maybe. Artifact route in the big 25 is crazy? How is it crazy? If you have the time, I mean, which, let's be real, this game forces you to spend so much goddamn time already that's the reason not to do it. But for me, being that Genshin Impact is my job, I should do this more. Like, this is just a thing I should get in the daily habit of doing. It's just been hard for me to get in the daily habit of doing it. And I really need to do it in the new area in particular because it's like much more efficient. But like the resources from this can really significantly add up. I would have saved like thousands of resin last year if I had like done it for like 6 months out of the year, for example. So 50% of days I logged in if I went and did it. How much XP does it give? You can get like 100k Mora equivalent per day, over 100k Mora per day. And then artifact XP wise, for the because the artifacts can be converted to Mora, right? But if you don't convert them to Mora, just for artifact XP, the best thing of reference I can give you is like, you know how much XP this takes, right? Which is a shit ton, to put it lightly. I believe last I ran the numbers, it takes, if you fully get as many as you can get, it takes like 6 days of fully getting as many artifacts, sparkle spots as you can. So let's say you do, you know, full artifact route for 1 every 4 days you log in, right? Per month. That will give you enough to get the elixir every patch. Like, that's something I've missed out on, like 12 elixirs, or I could have gotten, well, not 12, sorry, 8. It's per patch. I've missed out on like 10, I think I've actually gotten 1 or 2 but from the extraction, but most of the time I didn't have the XP, because usually I have enough artifacts to level up that I never did the extraction. But if I had been doing this, I could get the elixirs, right? That's extra, that's 3 extra onset goblets I could have crafted. Or not 3, 2. I can't math. I keep on like thinking it's per month. No, it's not per month. So yeah, like unironically, particularly if you can find an efficient route that you can get in the habit of doing, it can be really, really good to do. Right, artifacts for over a year almost daily and burned out recently. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's part of the reason I haven't done it, because I feel like I would get really sick of doing it. But when I have an artifact to level, that's when I do it. When I have artifacts I need to level, I'm like, ah, crap, I have 3 of an artifacts I need to level. I need extra XP. That's when I start doing it. That's how it's always been for me. But 25 to 30k XP daily just by alternating the Liyue and Inazuma artifact routes. Yeah, that's one actually really, really annoying aspect of them. It takes 24 hours from when you picked up the sparkle spots for them to come back. So like it counts down from when you picked it up. So if you're someone who, like, say you log in before you work or school in the morning, one day and do your artifact sparkle routes, do your Mora artifact sparkle farming, it takes you 10 minutes. If the next day you log in, but you log in earlier, actually, so a better example, you log in the evening, right? You play in the evening one day, insane idea, right? Playing after work or school, whatever. And the next day, though, you log in the morning, well, you're not going to be able to do the artifact sparkle route that you just did the previous day because the 24 hours had not passed. It doesn't reset, the sparkle spots don't reset on the daily reset, they reset after 24 hours, which is annoying as hell. And yeah, yes, you're limited to 100 investigations per daily reset. So you can do the sparkle spots just disappear completely after you do 100 of them. So once the daily reset happens, you can do more sparkle spots, but you need a different route if it hasn't been 24 hours since you did your last route, which is such an annoying convoluted layer to it. Like, I was originally planning to make a video where like did a full like analysis on like what was actually most efficient, but I decided not to. Mostly because of that factor. I was just like, this is just a pain. So yeah, is this one you found online? This is some old ass one that I marked quite some time ago, along with some random stickers that I had put on the map from ones I noticed personally that were like, ah, these sparkles have a bunch of artifacts on them. And now this is the one I just have in my memory that I can do without really thinking about it, right? So yeah. Just do it every other day. Yeah, exactly. That's my leaning as well, is just find an artifact route that makes sense for you, that you do every other day. And again, 7 Please has a video about a artifact route in this area that I believe takes about 10 minutes and maxes it out. That's the one I've been intending to go and like mark on the map and try to get in the habit of doing, but I keep on forgetting. So, yeah. And I think it's going to be unlikely that that route is going to be beaten anytime soon. Yeah, for now I got this that I'll keep on doing. Did I go here? I think I went here. But yeah, some of these I definitely got from some random ass video. I don't remember what video or when. Are they worth it for busy players? I mean, no. Are gacha games worth it for people that are busy? I don't know. It depends how much free time you have, and depends how many characters you want to build. Like it can very much. It can add up over time. Like if we just take the so ignore the artifact XP, just take that you can get like 100k more per day, right? Open up a calculator. 365. Let's assume half. Let's assume you're saying that you do half. 180 days out of the year, you do a full route. So 180 times 100k Mora is 18 million Mora. Now, we did some Nefer planning. I would say the average Genshin character to fully like invest into usually does not take much more than 4 million. If you plan on like double crowning, some characters double crowning 5 million. So like that's enough Mora for like 4 characters, essentially. Like basically maxed out characters. Just on the Mora alone from the route, right? Now, presumably, you're going to do some stuff with that Mora, but like, speaking from the experience of years of experience of always like having Mora that was right on the line, like, you know, I have enough Mora right now for Nefer next patch. As soon as I level up Nefer, I'm not going to have enough Mora again to level another character. And there's been plenty of times where I just run down on the wire, and if they dare release a patch where I need like last year when Seat Lolly and Moika were coming out, I was like, oh shit. I had to spend like weeks planning. It took like the actual numbers I had ran, and I had to have notes saved, and like, okay, I gotta like go and farm for these talent materials. I have to go and farm, like, so much pre-planning to be able to level Moika and Seat Lolly to the investment that I wanted, and I had to have like 10 million more. I believe in like the yearly recap thing that they did recently, the web event, right? It told me I spent like over 10 million more in one day last year, and that was Seat Lolly Moika Day. It was on like January 1st. So we're gonna go do this one. Yeah. Anyways, our gacha games were the full stop. Yeah. Speaking of gacha games, aka things that actually aren't gacha games, I'm probably gonna try Duet Night Abyss, but they reached out to me to do like a dedicated video, and I said, you know what, sure. I don't know how it will perform because I don't normally do dedicated videos, but I'm down. Because I heard that, you know, they were a gacha game in closed beta, but then they announced at like the end of August that they're like, we changed our minds. All characters and things are freely acquirable in game. We are just going to monetize on cosmetics or whatever. No more gacha. I was like, holy shit. A Eastern anime RPG developer with a bunch of characters as like the main selling point of the game. They're not gachaing. What the? So like, I'm just gonna try it on that baseline. I have no idea how long. I'm gonna go on to it like not seeing much about Duet Night Abyss at all. I've seen no footage. I've only seen like images and went to their website. I'm going in very, very blind, and I want to see what it's like. Anyways, they asked if I'd do a dedicated sponsor video, and I was like, oh, maybe, yeah, sure. And I asked them like, are you fine with me, like, as long as I can like give my honest opinion? And I was like, I imagine your game is not going to be so shit that I feel like it'd be lying to people by doing that, or by doing a sponsored video. And then they got back to me a couple days ago finally, and they're like, oh, actually, we want to do an ad, like a normal 60-second ad integration. I was like, okay. Sure. So they went from dedicated video to now maybe doing an ad integration for Duet Night Abyss. And I don't know if that ad integration will happen before or after the game releases. So I think it releases in like 2 weeks. So I don't know. I might have an ad integration for Duet Night Abyss, and my ad is basically going to be, well, I'm going to try this game. Plus whatever they want me to read out, obviously. But yeah. Also, I just realized I could have leveled 20 that artifact 5 years ago. I got too in the zone of getting the artifacts. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. I think I might have missed one spot back over here. Yep. Would you consider your main? I don't know. I don't have any one character that I would say is my main. I would say the characters I tend towards playing the most currently are Dia and Lanyon, as far as like on-fielders to build a team around. I almost always tend to play Yai very often too, as well. Honestly, Nefer has replaced a lot of my utility for Yai, to be honest, other than for Shivers. Like, I still like I was playing a lot of the Dia Yai team, but since Nefer now, with the Dia over Vape and Nefer, I find that team a lot more fun. It's just mechanically fun. It's cool how it takes advantage of different stats and the strengths of Dia's kit and like C6 Chevers and energy funneling. And I don't know, it's just really satisfying to play. I like it a lot, and it performs really well with, you know, just an FSC0 with a weird triple attack % build, and I know. So I don't know. Anyways, so am I don't know. I am definitely probably mostly a Dia and Lanyon main at this point. And that's where that is. But I do like Yai a lot. I also like playing Sethos a lot. I also like playing Arlecchino a lot. I do like playing Skirk, but she's too strong. Sunfire Skirk is really awkward to play in too many situations. Not even because of like how much damage it deals on my account, just because it's just awkward. And I have to be in the mood. It's like if you don't like playing Mualani, take the awkwardness of playing Mualani and triple it is what I would describe Sunfire Skirk as in like the current Abyss. Where like Sunfire Skirk can very much be used in the current Abyss. But it's really awkward. So, why does your Emily have a red dot? Don't ask questions. That you're not allowed to ask questions about Emily. Have you pre-farmed artifacts for Nefer? Yep, I have like a 500 something EM. Well, no, she has base EM. So it's 700? This is my Nefer pre-build. So 92 crit rate. This is with Widzith. So if I don't end up using Widzith, then it'll be like 200 crit damage. Factoring in crit damage ascension, right? So, yeah, so 700 EM, 90 crit rate, 200 whatever crit damage. Yai build. Yeah, Emily has a red dot. That's my Yai build currently. I do have better artifacts for her if I yoink artifacts from Arlecchino. Again, part of the potential reason of me trying to get Whimsy on Arlecchino is being able to yoink my good artifacts that are on Arlecchino, and I can put them on Yai. I could consider doing 2-piece attack percent on Lanyan. I think the fact that I have level 100 Lanyan now, she has higher base attack. What is her base attack actually? Yeah, subtract 38. It is 300. It's still lower than what 5-star characters are at level 90 currently. Do you know Nefer has a base attack of 344 at level 90? Like, she does no attack scaling damage. She has a base attack of 344. Why? Why? Anyways, whatever. So Lanyan has a base attack of like 315 at level 100. By the way, Nefer is like arguably even lower value to level 100 than Lauma, because Lauma technically has like, oh, she can trigger some blooms in a Nilu team or whatever where it uses her base level, so maybe there's a reason to level 100 Lauma. But Lama's whole E damage doesn't get increased at all from level 100. And basically all of Nefer's damage does not get increased by level 100. So level 100 Nefer would literally be the most wasteful thing you could do with the Stella Fortuna. So, yeah. Nice, yeah. This Yai could be better, though. But this is a very attack-heavy build, by the way. This, like, in case you didn't notice, I have 2,500 attack, which is a lot. No, she's not on attack percent Goblet. So I have a very, very min-maxed double attack percent Yai build, which is mostly because of using her not in Aggravate. I don't really ever play Aggravate Yai anymore. What I came in here for something else, didn't I? Oh yeah, the artifact. Sweet. Sick. Thank you, game. Appreciate that. Still have the other goblets if they are relevant. You know, double crit EM. Double crit EM. Maybe, but this seems pretty dang good. Let's go. Have almost all characters level 90. Yep, I've leveled a lot of characters. I tend to be a level 90er nowadays. I almost always just level 90 characters. If I have the most minor of reasons to level 90 them, I usually just plan around level 90 them. But there's some characters I still leave 87 for history's sake. And then characters that I refuse. I was close. I was close to level 90 here. When I was trying to do lowest investment possible clears with dire difficulty with Skirk. But then I ended up being able to clear without having to level it. So level up Nefer to level 100, got it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you level Nefer to 100 with knowing that it does basically nothing for her, like almost literally nothing, it technically very minorly increases her non-lunar charge damage. Or sorry, non-lunar bloom damage. But It's, I think it might be like less than 1% damage increase kind of thing. I'm pretty sure level 100 on Nefer is less of a damage increase than probably one extra substat would be. Yes, I'm planning to pull Nefer. That's why I titled the stream the way I did. Or the thumbnail at least, but. So yeah. Anyways, level 100 Nefer would just be a flex. Just be like, yep, I know it does nothing. I did it anyways. Like if I had Nefer, there would have been 9 4-star. If I had Nefer when I did the poll, or when I did the viewer voting, there probably would have been 9 4-stars and then 1 5-star in the kit, and the 5-star would have been Nefer, because it would have been funny to have a level 100 Nefer. And in hindsight, I would have put Yehoda on the list. I really would have, because I think it would have been funny for people to vote for Yehoda, and she probably would have won just because everyone loves Yehoda. Not everyone, but most people. And it would have been funny to commit to level 100 Yehoda, not knowing anything, not even having a hint of an ass of a clue what her kit is. But we'll see. Wonder how much more artifact XP I can get. So I wonder. I do have to wonder if Columbina will be a DPS. So now the question is, yeah, I think I just keep this, right? And I can level this. This is not that bad. Well, it depends. I mean, if it gets another death roll, that's kind of shit. But this is definitely reroll target piece if Columbina ends up being a, being a unit that wants to use its set. This set has the same problem with Scroll though, where if I'm playing like Columbina and a Nefer together, I don't want them both on this set though, right? So salvage artifacts, it's faster. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Yes, but anyways. I do have artifacts marked for Tatarasuna here, but those are pain in the ass. I usually skip those. Get the non-cry artifact, or sorry, the Natline artifacts though. No, not the Natline, the Fontaine. But Columbine has been seen using a shield in the trailer. Maybe your theory is right. Well, my theory is not that she's a shielder. My theory is that she needs a shielder. Like, she's shielder for Rina. So she gives some massive ass buffs, but requires a shielder on the team. So, yeah, anyways, as far as her artifact set though, I'm just assuming she does something on a supportive level. I'm running on the assumption that she will have no universal artifact set. It's possible that, I don't know. It's like for this team, I have Ino on instructors and Nefa on Serenade. If Columbina replaces Ino, we checked Easy Breeze Resort. I don't have them stickered. I haven't mapped out the route yet. I've been intending to do that forever, and I just keep forgetting it. Talking about Varka for 10 minutes straight. Maybe in a second. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Easy Breeze route. I haven't. No, that's not what it's talking about. Oh yeah. Columbina for this team, like artifact sets for Columbina. Assuming, I mean, it's possible she does no damage. She's just all buffing, right? Like maybe she just does all buffing, no damage mode. And in that case, well, I'll just give her instructors. I'll keep a Nefa on Serenade and give Columbina instructors. I have zero qualms about giving the hot new 5-star lady that everyone will be pulling for instructors. I'm going to guess that Columbina will do enough damage that you don't put her on instructors. So, could Chev instructors? Yes, that could make sense, but getting Chev to 40k, you'd be losing on it. You don't get Chev to 40k HP if you're not using a 5-star artifact set. So anyways, the thinking would probably be to like do Tenacity and Nefa, except I don't use a shield in this team, but I'd still give the attack buff, right? So Tenacity and Nefa plus Columbina then on Serenade. But if that's the case, like I'm getting less actual buffing for Dia in this team, so it would depend on what Columbina buffs exactly. Oops. Can I? There we go. Yoink. Right, because if I do Tenacity and Nefa plus Columbina on Serenade for the artifact set buffs, that is worse for buffs for Dia than what I currently have going with Instructors and Serenade buff. So I don't know exactly how it would work out. Okay. Just gonna pull if she makes your Flynn stronger. That's probably gonna be the case. And we probably have some way of on-fielding her, especially if she's a Catalyst unit. Why Shev is here? Check the description. The first set that comes out is what the Archon uses. What do you mean? There's, you know, they released 2 sets at the same time, right? Also, if she uses the support set, again, if you put a Nefa and Columbina on the same team, either of them could use the support set, right? And it's very possible that Columbina could be on a better personal damage set, for example, depending on how much her damage is. If she does no damage, it could range from I put Instructors on her to I put 4-piece Gilded Dreams on her. I don't know, right? That's the thinking here. Is like, what depending on what Columbina can do, there's some weirdness as far as what artifact buffs I get. So I don't know. And one assumption I have for Nefer, which I mentioned earlier, right, where like it's possible Nefer's best team still includes Ino. I think there's actually a very good chance of this. There's a very good chance that Nefer's best team when Columbina comes out will be Nefer, Lauma, Ino, Columbina. Not because you need extra Hydra application, but just because, although having a full non-cry team might actually be bad now I think about it. I didn't think about that aspect. Again, so I guess it really just comes down to how much Nefer buffs, or Nefer, Columbina buffs. There's still a good chance of that becoming Nefer's best team. Because there's a good chance that Columbina does a good amount of off-field damage. And then you keep Ino on the team so that Ino can be on the just full-on buffing utility with Instructors and then the Sumeru Claymore, which will be a total of 240 EM. Like Ino being able to buff 240 EM, and then if you have C1 Ino, and especially if you have a C6 Ino, that's a lot of buffing potential from Ino, right? And being that there's like kind of no very obvious best last slot in the team, it's a very good chance that the best team just ends up being Ino, Columbina, Nefer, Lama, which would be funny. So yeah, for Ino is probably almost assuredly going to be replaced by Columbina for Flynn's best team, because Flynn's doesn't have anywhere near the same issue, right? Because Flynn's has VV, he has Sucrose, he has other buffers too that can buff electro damage. Nefer has less options for buffing her damage, so she's a little bit weirder. But we'll see. And yeah, that's a case where presumably you would want like Lauma on Deepwood, Ino on Instructors, and Columbina on the new support set. Or Columbina on Deepwood. And Lauma on a new support set. So yeah. Why is he collecting Chlorine Ascension mats? I'm not. I just was passing by them and grabbed them for no reason. I'm done with my artifact right there. Okay, we should go into Poems only. Turtle. I'll maybe come back to my main account. I think we'll do... I don't know how much longer I'll stream. I think we'll do Actually, I gotta check my messages from my friends. Oh, they were messaging me. Oh, busy for the next hour. Okay, well, there we go. I'm gonna respond to them. Sounds good. I am streaming. Just let me know. Cause I have no set goals. That's my life in general. Anyway, no, I'll go. Yeah, but I wanna mess around a little bit with trying to clear fearless difficulty with Monyan. With the Drake, specifically. So I'm very certain I should do it. I think I just need to reconfigure some builds and a lot. Which is a pain. Uruguay. Be funny if Columbine had a buff that let lunar reactions and lunar damage be affected by damage bonus. Oh god, then they're just gonna cause... You thought Farina was gonna be power crap? Nope, it's just Columbina. Farina is the default new overpowered team core. Oh god, what would that would be bad, I feel like. No, don't manifest that. Bad. Okay, last day. Is Flynn's gonna get an upgrade? What's your bet? I think Flynn's is gonna get an upgrade today. I'm capped on resin. How did that happen? Green. Green indeed. Columbina also heals. Yeah. Columbina is a shielder and has a shielder requirement in her kit because they're just being cute. And then she also does team-wide healing and converts damage bonus to attack, EM, and lunar damage bonus. Let's make Columbina as broken as possible. She heals. She does a Nefer damage off field. She heals. She shields. She has a shield requirement in her kit just because she's silly. And then she's a catalyst because gotta have... She does Hydra application at the rate of Xingqiu. And then yeah, she converts all damage bonus sources. Just everything. All damage bonus sources. Fuck up all your builds. Imagine being like, oh yeah, so we gotta craft EM goblets and attack goblets only for Columbina to release and convert damage bonus to more of the stat. That'd be such a dick move. Convert damage bonus to EM attack and lunar damage bonus. Let's go. And yeah, fits in 12-second rotations because that's gonna be the new thing. No, 9-second rotations. Let's go. That's why Never has 9-second cooldown. Flynn's will be ideal with doing 1 mini-burst rotation. It's a joke. Because he has 16-second skill cooldown. You don't do 9-second rotation. Wow. 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 What? Is that triple HP? The frick? That's Fab stats. Okay. That's actually potentially ideal for... Now I think about it. Technically, that could be an upgrade for Candace. Technically. Technically, her buff does something for Flint. On the stretchiest of technically. So technically that could have been... I did say Flint was getting an upgrade today. If I level that circlet and it's actually usable on Candace, that could technically be an upgrade for Flint's. Technically. I got double crit defense circlets or timepieces on both accounts. What's happening? It's not how I want the artifact event to end. Both accounts get dev timepieces. Okay. No, what I actually want for Candace is an onset crit rate circlet with ER. Or she reduces cooldown, so we're getting 6-second rotations. Oh yeah, that's true. Duh, how could I forget? Another HP circlet, thanks. We don't have enough efficient hydro applicators? Yeah. I mean, I would like her to apply hydro. What would be balanced? Strong, but not overpowered as hell. Well, it doesn't even matter, because like total hydro application doesn't matter that more. She could apply a hydro every 2 seconds, like same as Ino rate, but just longer. Well, not longer, but like just do more damage kind of thing. Like and that would be fine. It wouldn't be that interesting, but it'd be fine. I would have no complaints about that. My bet is that she will do like Hydro every 1.5 seconds without normal attacks. And like in AoE without weird range or targeting issues or whatever that can pop up with Ino, which are really minor in my opinion, but they are there. Also a Hex and Circle member. Okay, that's 3 good stats with 2 max rolls, sure. Yes. Only because I don't know. I might do a triple. I haven't strongly considered it on this account yet, but maybe. I don't have a Skyward Spine, unfortunately. I think I kind of feel that Skyward Spine is necessary to make the weird triple attack percent Nefer build make sense. I don't have Skyward Spine on this account because the game has given me 4 Jade Spears and not a single Skyward Spine on my Polar Molny account. It's like the one thing I'm missing on this account for 5-star generic weapons, and I kind of actually want it now because of Nefer. Convinced that Bina will have a relatively slow Hydra application, so she can only work with Flynn's and Nefer. I mean, that's what I just said, where she could have Ino Hydra application just every 2 seconds. That's relatively slow, but still completely usable. I'd be fine with that. I'd be shocked if she had less than Ino. Would I be fine with that? Like, I don't know. It'd be weird if she had less than Ino. But that's my operating assumption. Should Ino always use instructors so the new support set can be put on someone else? So on a Flynn's team, usually you want, so like if you have Ino instead of Candace here in Nefer, you either want to do a Nefer on Tenacity if you have a good Tenacity build, like Tenacity with crit, right? Like this, for example, is a crit Tenacity build. A very, very good crit Tenacity build. This would make sense, and then you put Ino in that case because you're using a VV unit normally, right? So normally you're using Sucrose. She's ridiculously good for Flynn's, you should just use her. And then your options are, yes, you could use instructors, but if you already have like an attack buff from like Tenacity, for example, why would you use instructors over this set that has better uptime, right? You don't. You just use this set. So that's usually what you do for Flynn's teams. But for Nefer teams, yes, absolutely. If you're doing things like I'm doing with Overvape for Dia, I haven't actually really run the numbers on seeing exactly what the balance is for EM buffing. For Dia, I do know that like the instructors on Ino and Serenade on Nefer is better. But for that doesn't mean it's the case for like Arlecchino, right? Arlecchino might get more from having the extra attack compared to having a little bit more EM that has partial uptime. So I don't know 100%, right? But anyways, so you would either run a Nefer on Tenacity, Ino on Serenade, or you could do a Nefer on Serenade because you might end up getting a bunch of like good crit substat pieces in farming for your Flynn's pieces, right? And then you put those in a Nefer, and a Nefer has ER needs, right? So 2 pieces good on her. And then you put Ino on Noblesse, right? Usually that's what you want to do. You want to put this, so that would be the same total buffing you're getting from artifact sets for Flynn's, right? You're getting 20% attack, and you're getting the Serenade set buff. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other kind of thing. Supports have no universal builds, or not supports, just offfielders in general have no universal builds in Genshin. It's literally not possible. There's too many good support artifact sets, and any characters that are offfielders that have like team versatility that work with different characters that do different things for like how their damage scales, inevitably has different combinations of support artifact sets, with like Deepwood being a factor, VV being a factor, 4-piece Scroll being a factor, the new EM buffing set being a factor, Instructors being a factor, Tenacity being a factor, and Noblesse being a factor. All those fucking artifact sets and the different ways that characters scale their damage means there's just no universal answer for supports anymore. There's just not. There's just never is. And by supports, I just mean offfielders. So yeah. Ino needs C2 for a Nefa damage in Nefer team. Why? I mean, I know. Oh, I see what you mean. So the extra Hydra application to keep up a Nefa damage. Thing is, even without Ino C2, even you would have at least, like, when you're doing your setup, you can have the lunar charge uptime for like at least 4 seconds. Like, you'll get at least 2 procs of a Nefa's skill, and even like her passive talent damage. Even 2 procs of the talent damage is enough to like make a Nefa compelling in conjunction with her EM buff and providing a shield, right? But yeah, I imagine Ino C2 would help keep a Nefa's damage up more. But I don't know for sure that it's actually needed. So Jeff said that for Thundercloud, I see. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the uptime looks with and without C2. So I haven't tried to map that out. But it makes sense. As a bonus, Columbina refunds energy and reduces burst cooldowns too. Yeah, of course. She reduces skill cooldowns, burst cooldowns, and normal attack cooldowns. What are normal attack cooldowns? Attack speed. So remember, Columbina could be a compelling Skirk teammate. And it's not enough that she buffs attack percent twice as much as Bennett does. No, she also buffs normal attack speed, which directly scales up Skirk's damage. And some other characters' damage, like Wanderer. It's a Wanderer buff. Yay! Hit leg as well? Oh yeah, that's true. She also buffs movement speed. She buffs movement speed so you can Dragon Strike better. And she'll be a 4-star. Yep. Except she's a 4-star and you only get all those abilities if you level 100 her. Still trying to get an improvement on Nefa on this. Oh yeah. I'm trying to get a better flower for Nefa on Tenacity in this account. Whoop. I mean, it's a 4-liner. Well. Duckle my knuckles, yeah. Could this be better? It can. I think it can. In a weird way. The problem is I have Staff of Scarlet Sands on her. So, crit rate is not the ideal stat. And it rolled poopy. Okay. Bye-bye. Flex your insane tenacity build. Is it better than mine, Resh? I'll let you flex if you think it's better than yours. 2 a.m. and school starts at 6. Should you still attempt to sleep? Yes, you should. 4 hours of sleep will feel better than 0. Speaking from experience as someone who's been getting 4 hours of sleep a bunch in the last few days, I've been a half-functional human being most of the last month. So, but if I hadn't gotten 0 sleep on most of those days that I got 4 hours of sleep, I would have been definitely less. Less ER, but yes? Okay, but if it's less ER, come on. And don't forget the attack stat. I do, actually, that's not ideal, to be fair. I should run an EM Goblet, technically. But I value the off-piece right now more for the balance of stats. Well, let's go do a... For funsies. I haven't done one in a little bit. Oh, I keep forgetting I need to level Auron. I just need to collect the flowers. I don't feel like doing it right now. But, I need to do theater on this account. Also, Columbina has 0 ER needs. No, it's not true. When she is solo Hydro, and she is played with Moeka specifically, you have like 30% energy needs on her. And you might be like, what? Why? Because her burst puts her into Night Soul state. That's why. Because we forgot something, guys. We forgot that having Night Soul is relevant for Moeka. Remember? But on the topic of her burst, I sincerely do actually hope she has 0 ER needs, because if she is a 5-star character that to get her buff forces a burst animation, that's going to make her less useful to me. And I really hope that's not going to be the case. I really hope she's a support that doesn't have a forced 5-star burst animation. Personally. We'll see. Thoughts on Dur and Hexenzirkel? I mean, I'll wait until we see the full kit, but ultimately, like, we're not going to be able to really evaluate that outside of the current characters. The fact that that the rumor is there's a whole bunch of characters that are going to count as those character types for him is interesting. I think it's like if, what the frick would it be like? It's like if instead of like the Nod Cry, it's like when they released Nod Cry racism, you know, a bunch of old characters got labeled as Nod Cry characters, right? Right, if with the whole Ascendant Gleam thing. Like, Ascendant Gleam would be a lot less of a pain in the ass if, you know, they marked, I don't know who would be relevant, whatever, you get the point, right? Like, if a whole bunch of random ass characters, Fischl, Bennett, well, probably not you, but for any random ass reason, they stepped foot in Non-Cry once, and they start counting for Ascendant Gleam, right? That's all you need to do. You just need to get your Non-Cry passport in the land of no regulations, or, you know, that's the vibe I get. So I'm not inherently against it, is my point. But we'll see what it actually ends up doing for team building. Varka, yeah. Oh yeah, someone said to talk about Varka for 10 minutes. I already yapped about this before. But wait, actually, frick, what was the kid idea? Didn't we? Ah, frick, someone remind me. Who was my the kid idea from like two streams ago, whatever, that we yapped about? It was during the or one stream ago. It was during the reaction to whatever the new version stuff is. What was the idea for Varka's kid? It was a really cool idea. I've forgotten it. Oh yeah, the Wolf's Gravestone thing. Yeah. So the idea was that he is a character that extended buff up times on your characters, on the whole team, including himself. So any buff that's like currently applied, he would extend the duration it lasts. And the idea came from like, how do we make it so like Wolf's Gravestone is actually good on him and not just shit, because it just gives a bunch of attack percent, and the team wide buffing passive is not up 90% of the time. So yeah, that the hope is he's a weird on field animo DPS that extends. That was me, by the way. Sorry. That extends buff duration, so he could do weird dynamic rotation things for him and other units by like both being quick swappy, extending buff duration. Like imagine extending buff duration to Bennett, kind of thing, or whatever other buffs, like weird buffs that have only like, what am I doing, brain, that have like only 3-second uptime. There's almost no way they're gonna do it, no, because why? Because it's a weird creative idea that has sus utility, but like is cool. It's something a 4-star might randomly get, and it's not gonna be very good, but it'll still be fun. I forgot how to optimize the shield here. That's good enough. Oh, you were the Discord thing. I see. How dare you, Resh? Okay, we're not beating the record. I know I can get oh, my energy. I know I can get. I shouldn't say I know. I'm fairly confident I can get sub 80 seconds. My record is 84. But it needs to be a clear that prevents him from getting a shield up, the second shield. I keep on staggering him. Oh yeah, we were almost close actually to doing that here. Ah, see, this is what's happening. That's what happens when I've had my best clears. No, what a butthole. See, this is what I'm talking about. I get that close. I get that close to doing a sub 80 clear. Ah. So close. And then it just ends up losing 10 seconds. Oh. That 84 second clear took forever to get to. The 84 second clear was with the getting a second shield up. So you know, I need better build. I need C4 now. I mean that would probably do it, but that would be not the solution, because C4 would just change the threshold of what the optimization process is. Bye, Bellboy. Thanks for joining. One more time. Oh, Aggro DM'd me. What did Aggro DM me? Oh, I see. I'm not gonna say what Aggro DM me. Where's oh, there it is. Okay. Wait, what? Rush, you didn't even DM me. Oh, you added me in Discord. That's why I was okay. Whatever. You just put your UID in Discord, or not in Discord, in the chat, Rush. I need Flynn's leaderboard. You know what's gonna? I'm just gonna bet. Oop, my brain. I'm just gonna bet the Akasha owner is going to add. There's gonna be like day 1 Nefer leaderboards. And then Flynn's will not have one. Oh, we didn't get the second shield through. This is already a cooked attempt, by the way. Oh, it's because I didn't activate Candace Burst. Flynn's leaderboard won't have ER. That's probably true. I mean, that would be a problem. I was gonna say, like, would it be acceptable to have a no ER Flynn's leaderboard? Is that better than having, like, or if there's just one, like, it's just a 20 ER leaderboard, that's it, right? Like, that would be better than nothing. Yeah, Emily. No ER Flynn's leaderboard would be a lot worse than Emily, though. Like, Emily is like, okay, I can understand why, because, like, you know, technically, okay, so by the way, technically I don't have to use Candace Burst here, and I can get through 2 shields. I've done it before. I just forgot how I did it. There we go. That was actually pretty good. That wasn't how I did it, but that was one way that I hadn't considered before. What? Where's my what? Why don't you have energy? What happened? I don't even think Flynn's has RNG particle generation. How did that happen? Did I like not trigger Fav and Eons on maybe? I don't know. Spent too long on the test there. Alright, switch. I can't switch. I'm stuck. Bruh. Okay. It didn't get okay. Didn't get Fav on Candace. That's unfortunate. That's unlucky. Okay, that. How did I do it? I know before I was able to get through. We didn't even get through the. I don't remember how I did it. Ah, frick! We didn't even go through the thing in one sequence here. Right, this is obviously a completely coach attempt. 5% ER with Fav Sing Joe. I don't think it's possible. It's C1. Yeah. So I don't know. Flynn's ER needs is really weird, right? So that is the complicated thing about his leaderboards potentially. Like he should have like. He probably should start at a. Well, no, he has the Sig weapon. He can have like 0 ER basically. So. He has to have 0 all the way from 0 to like 100. I mean, arguably, if you want to do weird, like you should have 0 to 180 ER categories, which is annoying. So like but anyways, it's like what it takes for the Akasha owner to add a leaderboard is simply whether or not the Akasha owner likes them. Okay, that was not bad, and this should get to the what? The cloud go away right before I did that. Oh my god. Yeah, that was me. Sorry. It's probably Resh again, or my friends. I keep on doing extra normal attacks on him when I shouldn't be. Chaska leaderboard doesn't exist, yeah. Chaska leaderboard is like kind of weird, and I kind of understand why. I also would argue that Chaska leaderboard doesn't matter because Chaska's too breakpointy. Yeah. I could tell he wasn't getting staggered. It's very satisfying seeing 2 of his shield get shredded. Alright. You know what's funny, by the way? Before I had C3, so now that I have C3, I am able to, like, pretty consistently get through, like, 2 shields in one of his mini bursts. Not pretty consistently, semi-consistently. Get through 2 shields with 1 mini burst in the first shield phase, not the middle shield phase. But there was one instance where I did that with C2, and I have no idea how it happened, because I had never seen it happen before, where I did 1 Flynn's mini burst at the start, and it got through 2 shields. I was like, what the frick happened? Because I'd never replicated that. And if I could replicate that, I probably could have pushed C2 Flynn's clear time to like about what I have with C3 Flynn's. Because it's a multiple second time save. Akasha owner doesn't like Changyun. I mean, I think Akasha could be something really fun and good for the community if it was community ran. Like not community ran entirely. Like, I mean like there was a whole bunch of people working on it kind of thing. Okay, crap. Okay, I basically got through 2 there. Ow. Whatever, it's gonna break, right? Oh, what? You didn't break with that. Oh, whoops. I did double E, but I don't think I had cooldown up. Well, whatever. I don't have eons on bursts. I get energy. I did. Okay. I'm not gonna get the next energy though. Yeah, okay. That was a little weird. I don't know, try it. Sometimes weird things happen and it could result in you finding new strategies. I don't have energy. By the way, the Candace is awkward to use for the initial shield phase here, but she is actually like quite good at getting extra staggers at it on this dude and delaying the second shield phase to a degree that like I think from a hyper optimized standpoint, it's possible like with compared to a non C6 I know. I think it's very possible compared to a non C6 I know that Candace is better just because of her ability to help with staggering this dude. second one.
Close your eyes. Night falls. To dust.
Great. Okay.
Annihilation mode. Cleanup sequence. Stronger.
Really?
Night falls.
Have I cleared? I've cleared this. This boss is not hard to clear at all. Not with the investment that we have in Flins now. I think it was doable to clear Dire with a C0 Flins, but very difficult. And not really super fun because of how breakpointy Flins is. I can't clear the entire. What am I doing? I can't clear the entire difficulty. I'll that through 2 again. Ramp. Nice. Okay. That was ideal. Oh, we didn't get the second follow-up hit. Oh well. I can't clear the full Dire difficulty. Crab is ass. Crab is designed to be a llama check, or you can clear if you have Nahi to C2. Neither of those are polearm characters. If Crab wasn't hyper restrictive, I maybe could have actually cleared this Dire difficulty fully. But yeah, I don't know. I think polearms only is the only like weapon only type challenge that has even a chance at clearing Dire difficulty, is my guess, at some point. So I hope to be able to do it eventually. But oh, I almost killed it. I almost got a record there, by the way. Cause I almost had a 80-second clear. You Dona Wald? I never saw your UID. It didn't pop up in the chat.
Use of force authorized. I warned you. Looks like violence is here.
I literally don't see it. There it is. Okay, I found it. Let's see if I can get it entered before Nefer dies.
Emergency.
There we go. Alright. Bap. What are we looking at? I don't even remember, Resh. And Nefa, I think, right? C2 and Nefers. I feel like C2 and Nefa probably means tenacity isn't best on her anymore, by the way. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, that's a very good Nefa tenacity build. Have you tested it? I don't know. I really have no idea. I feel like ER type is probably ideal for you in your case because Halo is Halo, but if you have enough ER, then obviously, well, for Flins it probably is fine. Well, I say that, but I found I needed a little bit more ER in my NFA than this. In Dire, at least. In Stygian. You got your best clear with it? Okay, that's funny. I wasn't confident. Spells only is the play because there are 2 Hydra units. Does spells only have the ability to have teams that can do enough damage to clear the current Stygian though? Onslaught, how many favs of each type is generally safe to have of each type? Oh my god. Okay. Fab Lance, a lot. Fab Sword, definitely multiple. All other Fabs, probably less important. Spells only player, it ain't that great for us right now. Yeah, like what do you have? This can include some amount of constellations, right? Like what do you have for a Mualani team? Like a Constellation Mualani, I imagine, might be one of your options for teams that do over 100k DPS, because that's basically what you're looking at for Dire. You need like teams that do over 100k DPS, or there's situations like the Crab where technically you don't need 100k DPS, but it's a much more specific mechanical requirement. And like so, like spells only can clear the Crab, I presume, at Dire without a problem. But
use of force.
I just had to do more normal tests, I wonder. Is that enough?
Night falls.
What? The cloud was still there. I actually call bullshit on that one.
Quite finished.
I'm playing the lyre while you listen. I appreciate the offer, but I'm a little distracted right now. I didn't get the initial skill hit. But if you're still around after I get bored of doing these attempts, I'll consider joining you for a minute. But if you don't want to hang around, don't let me make you stay if you're traveling to different Twitch streams. But otherwise, I'm down in a little bit, but I don't know how long. Claymore's only in shambles, yeah. C2 Klee plus Nahida, I guess. Okay. Does Klee do off-field Hydro or off-field Pyro? Can you sustain the Pyro application with just like the burning? I assume. Mulani, Klee, Sucro, someone else should be strong enough with some constellations. Okay, so what about the other teams? No, that was not the play. That was really not the play. Oh. Oh yeah, Varesa, I forgot. Yeah, Varesa High Cons is interesting. Yeah, there's Emily and Yao Yao. I cleared Fearless. I think Fearless was theoretically doable without Flynn's. I used Flynn's to clear Fearless Crab, to be clear. I think Fearless Crab was theoretically doable on this account without Flynn's, but like nightmare misery because the crab sucks balls.
Close your eyes. Night falls. Be silent.
Why do I keep not getting the... Why? Oh yeah, use sucrose for infusion. Yeah. So Mulan has to be one of them. And then you have Varesa. But I have no idea what Varesa is like. What the hell do you even have for buffers for Varesa?
Close your eyes. Night falls. Be silent. Hear the dark. Night falls.
I don't even know if that made sense. No, okay. I'm trying to get the second mini burst to kill the shield, or kill the shield very slightly after the second mini burst, but I have the third mini burst for when it's down.
Observe. Close your eyes. Observe. To dust.
What?
Close your eyes.
Okay, this is definitely not what I wanted. Let's try bursting on Candace instead. Just do a slightly slower start. I didn't hit with a skill, did I? Yep, did not. Okay. I hear my alarm going off. I should go turn off my alarm. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm already awake. So that can potentially cause me to consistently get through, but it takes extra time. That's probably the ideal method here. Okay. Oh, but I didn't get a... What? I still had Candace up. Why did I not get a C6 proc there? Okay. Redo that. Okay, I gotta go turn off my friggin' alarm. It's bugging me. You probably can't hear it. But it also might be bugging my neighbors. BRB. Barca. For Varka. So technically I think Dire is possible. For the current one. Like 6 years cost per team, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I don't know if there's anyone that has a weapon only account that's been running long enough to be at an investment level. I mean, some whale could fucking come along and just whale on every catalyst banner. But this is not a whale account. It's high investment, not whale. I would not describe it as whale. I spent some money, but that's pretty bit different from the whale. Didn't get. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. Release a functional unit for me. Yeah, that's part of the reason I wanted Cleanse C3 was if I need Eon Song for future dire difficulty and a non-Flynn's team, I wanted to be able to have Flynn's still be able to do really good damage without Eon Song. Because I was pretty sure C2 was enough, mind you. But like, I had the opportunity to, without spending anything extra, just the wishes I had, to go to pity, so I tried. And we got it. Don't want him doing that. Okay, keep the stagger. No! No, you buffalo. Yeah. Oh, we didn't even kill it with its shield down. Usually it dies when the shield goes away. That's sad. None of the old only account YouTubers were even good enough or even still playing. Yeah. Tars was the only one, but Tars has a life. What weapon do you recommend for Nefer? R5 Widzith, R1 craftable, or other weapons? R5 Widzith when you don't get the right buff is only a few percentage points behind R5 of the craftable, and when you do get the buff, it makes Nefer do as much damage as her Sig does. So R5 Widzith. If you want to wish on the weapon banner, her weapon will make her really good. The main reason to wish for her weapon banner or wish for like C1 is to like help if you don't have Llama, or if you want to be able to clear Dire or make her significantly stronger for non-shield content, etc., etc. Doesn't guarantee you'll clear non-shield content, but will help. But you probably don't need a swipe for her. She's going to be strong. If you have her strongest team, she's going to be strong. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to get burst with that. Frick. Crap. Okay. Wonder how hard... Oh, actually, I didn't even think about that. I should be maybe that's actually what allows me to get the shield more consistently. I'm not getting max stacks and Staff of Scarlet's Hands properly. So I go here, get max stacks. Okay, there we go. And then go here. Okay. And that max Eon Sun buff over well. An optimization point. Oh, I don't have energy, that's annoying.
Close your eyes. Fear the dark. Observe. Be silent. Fear the dark. Fear the dark.
Annihilation mode. Defensive mode.
God damn. One rotation goes out of whack with Candace energy, and then this happens. This is why you build extra energy on characters, because like the attempt isn't cooked. Well, the attempt might be cooked for being like a best player, but the attempt's not cooked in general. Whereas like, if you're running like super Vine ER needs or something like that happens, you're potentially are screwed. Keep the stagger? Nope. Ah, damn. See, the thing I hate the most about when he goes into his second shield phase is that little brief moment of bloop. That was me. That little brief moment of him just being super resistant to damage when he's like charging up his shield. It's like only a few seconds. His stagger with charge attack, yeah, there might be some weird stagger optimization there. Anyways, I was pinged for my friends to do things. Okay. Well, I guess we'll end the attempts there. I said I was going to do a Lanyan Fearless attempt, but I actually forgot that my friends were waiting on me again. Because I'm terrible. I'm going to DM them, then I'm going to join them in a second. Okay. We'll join in a sec. We will go on to the casual account real quick. I have, I made the, maybe questionable, so I got a random early Mualani, right, on the casual account, last patch, of course, when trying to get Bennett copies, if I recall. And it was like a less than 10 pity Mualani or something, so, whatever. Free good character to get that isn't reliant on, like, the same buffers that other characters rely on that account is fine. It actually is a good thing for the account. A little bit awkward in that maybe take a bunch of time and resources to build a character I hadn't planned around at all. And oops. And I don't have, a super strong teammates for her. But I know C1 in particular, like I know C1 with the artifact set and whatever, can buff a lot. So my current thinking for an for a Mualani team, because honestly I find Sucrose and trying to get Sucrose buff up, like I find that the Candace Shungling Sucrose team is okay, but it's really awkward. So I want to just go full ass into EM buffing. So I have Ino C0. I have to do a little bit of the story to get Ino C1. So on Serenade set, right? So this will be 60 EM because there's only one nod cry. You don't want the faster Hydra application here. C1 would be 80 EM, so it's 140 EM from that total. And then double Hydro, so Hydro Resonance, right? EM buffing from Nahida, and then Nahida can also use Prototype Amber, right? So that's like another 200. And then Dia, I want to put on Force Regalia, of course. So the total EM buffing will be like, around like the 500 range, is my thinking. And Instructors, of course, on her. So actually, it would be like 140, 200. So yeah, it'll be like 550, 600, whatever. A lot of EM buffing, basically. And this team will also have far more survivability. And to do Dia and Nahida together, you need someone doing like off-field damage procs, and that would be Ino's Burst to actually trigger the coordinated attacks from these two bozos. So yeah, it should work. And yeah, I chose Dia on the selector, but I need to craft Forest Regalia, which is a pain in the ass, so I have to do R&R quest. I don't know how much I have to do, but I think I have to do R&R quest to unlock the stupid Forest Regalia weapon. So end me, basically, having to do a quest I don't want to do on a casual account, or a casual simulation. I mean, casuals do the story, or do that, but like, ugh. Didn't want to have to do that, but I would like Mualani to be more usable. So, anyways, I had to go to pity, by the way, to get that Ino. This Ino was at 74. I took the risk because that was a pity 4-star. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna do a wish into 74 where there's a 5% chance of getting a 5-star. It's a 5% chance for a 5-star or guaranteed 4-star, and the 4-star was guaranteed to be one of the banner characters, so it was a 33% chance to be Ino. It was a 33% chance to be Ino, or a 5% chance to be a 5-star, and I got Ino, so I was like, yay. Anyways, we're just gonna farm my crap here, and then we'll be done. By a second, I mean like a minute, I think. Now, sorry, I feel terrible making my friends wait, but that movie team, we're not using Burst. No, you are. The burn should overtake. The other awkward problem with Dia in particular with Mualani, in my experience, this might push me towards situationally switching to Shungling or pulling Durin maybe. Now that I'm at pity, that'll be a choice I can potentially make. Actually, frick, should I pull Farina? Oh, Oh, I didn't even think so. Speaking of like the circumstance of like, do you pull Farina with Columbina coming around the corner? I really don't know. I don't know what Columbina's kit is like. Don't know how universal it should be. Do I pull Columbina on this? Or Columbina, there's a lot of artifacts. Do I pull... Do I go to pity? Because I'm at pity. I don't know. I didn't even think about that. Like, obviously... So I don't have a Scopier, right? I really don't know. Like, if I got a Scopier and Farina, it's like potentially a possibility, right? Sweet, I have Skirk do big damage number team. Yay. But then Skirk is like massively far ahead of any other team on this account, and it doesn't really fix the problem of like not having a lot of team flexibility. But then Farina might be a character that can give me more team flexibility. But I don't really know where she'd be relevant to use other than for Skirk on this account right now. It's like I have no idea. I can pull both. You're assuming I want to log on to this account to the degree where I want to farm all the pulls. Like I want to see where my battle pass is in this. I'm at level 15 because I started logging into this account this last week. Ish. I hadn't even finished claiming these yet. Like, so show my support for your content. Thanks, Tagliner. Appreciate it. Thanks for the $5 reduce. You paid for my existence today. Not really. It cost me more than $5 a day to exist, but you paid for part of my existence today. So, anyways, I don't know. I don't have any particular character other than like would be cool to get a Scofier for Skirk. But like I don't feel that strongly that I need a Scofier and Farina for Skirk. Right? Like if I get a Scofier for Skirk, I just replace Rosaria in this team. Or Sea Volley, if I need Sea Volley for Arlecchino. Duh. Mulaney's not much worse than Sabrina C0 with Skirk. Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. I shouldn't forget that. Yeah, I can do a Scofier with Mulaney. Stupid. So... yeah, I guess this is a better timepiece than I've gotten on my main account, potentially. I'm not going to level it right now, but I'm just farming this side because I figure, why not with the thing running, right? I'm not even going to claim dailies, by the way. That's like my attitude with this account right now. Again, casual. Like I'll log in to do some things that I feel like doing, and then I'll log out, because I think that's normal human behavior. you log in here. Oh, well, sorry. I will claim dailies because apparently oh, that's because I did the event. I didn't even do the major event this patch, but I did the minor event. The one that took like 10 minutes to do. So I don't know. Anyways, the point of this account is to simulate a casual player experience. So my leading rule of this account has been I log in when I feel like it. If I have a character I want for whatever reason, alright, cool. I'll try to log in and get them. But I don't know. Anyways. You wanna know who I want? I want a Nefer. I want a Nefer on this account, honestly. Rerun a Nefer, hello. That's what I want. Because I can use a Nefer to do a lot of things, potentially. I could use a Nefer to make Gaming good. I could use a Nefer to make Dia usable. Well, I probably want C1 Dia. Well, I can get C1 Dia. Well, actually, no, I can't really, because the Constellation Factor thing requires playing a lot. As you can see, I've gotten one. But anyways. So, Gaming, I mean, it would be a non-C6 Gaming, mind you, but I don't know. Arlecchino over Vape, actually, to be clear. The C0 Arlecchino would be pretty good too as a team option for her. So, I don't know, I certainly wouldn't mind having a Nefa. And having a Nefa would be enough to like, hey, like this account ain't clear. The next this account can probably clear the current Abyss cycle. Probably can't clear the next Abyss cycle. It's probably impossible.
Thank you for.
Because I don't have any team that can brute force it, and I don't have double Nine Cry. Because I didn't pull a Nefa, didn't pull Alma, didn't pull Flynn's. I'm not planning to pull Nefer. So, yep, this is an example in an account. Hello, Nefa. That is completely effed over by them being dicks. So, to be clear, I wasn't really bothering 36. I haven't 36 started this current one, because... I'm pretty sure I can, I just didn't feel like it. Casual account, right? Don't feel like it, don't do it. Alright. Anyways. By the way, Mualani build, if you care, Widzith. Codex. Yep, it's a pretty good Mualani build. Yeah. Nothing insane, to be honest. It's pretty good. I re-rolled this goblet. And, this is okay. This might make sense from a min-max perspective if I just go a little bit more RNG, get more crit HP. I don't know. Anyways, that's gonna be the stream. So yeah, Nefer prep done. Well, other than resin or talent materials that I will do through the rest of the week. And thanks for joining. We'll maybe stream tomorrow, but I might be visiting my mom tomorrow. I don't know for sure because she said my dad was sick, so it's question mark visiting parents tomorrow. If I'm not visiting them tomorrow, I will hopefully maybe do a unit review stream, assuming I have energy for it. Whatever. Anyways, bye.